It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning, beautiful folks. Happy Friday. How is everyone doing? Feels a little bit warm today. Is it me or does the weather seem to be warming up a bit? Wow. Honey child. Summer is coming. It's almost the end of March. And then we're going to start skirting right in to the warmer summer months. Given the situation with the war in Iran, no end in sight, as they say. I think it's fair to say that we will be paying some pretty interesting rates over the summer. And, by then, a lot of the fuel prices will start to more accurately reflect what is going on. Some places are still not really feeling it. Like it's not happening yet. So tighten up, folks. That's the only advice I can give you, because you can't do anything about what's happening in Iran. Lots of Caymanians are actually here supporting the war, supporting what Trump is doing. And so we just have to have it play out. We'll touch on some of those international points today at some point during the program. It's been a heavy, heavy week of looking at labor and employment issues. And so I'm going to give it a break because, number one, I'm investigating another recruitment agency that will be highlighted. And so I've got to put that one together before we can have a well-informed show on what's happening there. So that's coming down the pipeline. So just bear with me. I'm not going to say anything more about who that is, but we mentioned them on yesterday's program. And if you have been the victim, or you have any, information that could assist us in an ongoing investigation in relation to these companies, by all means, please come forward. It is very, very important that you do. And not only investigations about the recruitment companies, but I have it on very good authority that our own CBC and WORC workers are part and parcel of the problem. And some of you Filipino women are afraid to come forward because they must have told you that they're the governor of this country or something like that. I want you guys to remember, no one is above the law, okay? Jeffrey Epstein is not above the law. The American president, once he gets out of office, will no longer be above the law. He can skirt around a lot of issues now, although even now at times, courts are disagreeing with him and telling him, no, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So there's a little bit of restraint on him, not as much as he needs, but no one is above the law. So if an officer has been doing things and making you promises for sexual favors, I want to be very, very clear because we know what's going on. Now we need the victims to come forward. This is against the law, right? I don't care if this kind of stuff happens in your own country. It's not allowable here in the Cayman Islands. These guys can't promise you money for your family, relationships for your body, a glow up, makeup and whatever else, travel benefits. Listen, you need to come forward. Because yes, there might be some people like Michelle who's fully aware of what she's doing and doesn't mind. That's entirely possible. That's why we call those situations prostitution. And then there are other people who are being manipulated and taken advantage of. And in those instances, that is a whole other situation. And those individuals are victims. So, sometimes it's not always easy to fan out what it is, but we have very, very good reason to believe that our own officers, a handful, but I can tell you one bad apple will spoil the entire bunch. So you will be protected. Let me say this to the Filipino women. You will be protected. These guys do not have the power that they have told you that they have. Being able to make little things disappear in terms of like a little, work permit infraction, that is not the same as them having any real power. So come forward, speak up, and put an end to this, because now it's you. Next time it's your daughter, it's your niece. Where does it end? We have an obligation to weed out the bad apples in our own government. And it doesn't matter what they've told you. A lot of them are manipulating you. They're using you, right? They're going to tell you, well, you agreed to it, so now you're going to get in trouble. That's not true. Step forward. You will be protected. So I really hope that the victims are listening to me this morning. And those of you who know women who have been victimized by these guys, and it is men, it's unfortunate, but yes, it's the men, our Caymanian men, who are doing this. So please step forward. We know who some of them are by name already. And so we're going to put a stop to it. Right? They are the lowest of the low. Absolutely disgusting. To be in a position of power, yes. To be in a position of enforcement, to wear that government uniform, and to still be having your name dragged through the mud because of the behavior that you're engaging in, and everybody seems to just be turning a blind eye to it. Enough is enough. Good morning, Delcy, joining us from Florida, her and Ben. Good morning to the both of you. She says a bit early in class today, but we're here. Beautiful. Patricia's here. Marshall, Wee Wee's in the house. Blissful Powell, we've gone over 300 people already. Sherry Coleman, thank you so much for watching. Plain and Straight, good morning. Beautiful Siobhan Stewart is here. Strong Wilt is in the house. Shaka Zulu, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? We got Faith and Hope. Leroy with us this morning. Morning, Leroy. Shaka Zulu says, wow, Cayman finally got a real Caymanian investigative journalist, my dear. It's a hot mess. Willing to take on the hard-hitting stories, we have to. I mean, these people, and I know some people are less sympathetic than others when it comes to their plight. And it really, every individual case will turn on its own facts. That I will agree with. Not every situation is the same. But unfortunately, there are a lot of these women who they themselves are being trafficked and they are being victimized. Human trafficking. Even if someone agrees to pay money to be able to get here, that does not mean that they're not a victim, right? And I know we want to dismiss them. Oh, they're not human. They're not victims. And that's really, really not the case at all. And it's so sad, though, that so many people have around the world are in a position where, they feel the necessity to compromise themselves, but that's all they know. All they know is they got to get out of the situation that they're in, this horrible poverty. And one way to get out is to come to countries like the Cayman Islands. And so, here we are. It's crazy, right? But we're going to most certainly do something about this. We can't sit back and do nothing, because then we become part and parcel of the problem. And in the process, our country gets destroyed. You would think that people who are coming here from other countries would not want to destroy this country, because then it becomes like where they're running from. But people are very short-sighted. So they're not thinking about the long haul game. They're just thinking, okay, I need to eat tomorrow. I need to make some money. What does it take for me to be able to do that? And so they're not thinking about Cayman 15, 20 years from now and what that is going to look like, right? So it's just a sad indictment. And it's really, really sad that because our people have a little bit of a more comfortable life than a lot of places around the world, that these men will sit back and take advantage of Filipino women, Honduran women, Jamaican women from, all over the world. It's such an unbelievable situation. Morning, Robert. He said another FAFO Friday. Cheryl joining us from Prodigy Jewelers. Big shout out to her and the team over there. Did you guys see that beautiful ring that David made, the custom ring for the Honorable Minister of Culture and Heritage, where it has like all the thatch rope and all the symbols of our culture and heritage? Very, very nice. David is amazing. He makes a beautiful custom pieces. In fact, I'm wearing one today. Look at my CMR. It's one of a kind, one and only. I don't know how well you can see it, but this is my little CMR logo that he made for me. He surprised me with this years ago, and it's like in a chain. I wear it all the time. I absolutely love it. It's just so gorgeous. When I saw it, I couldn't believe it. Little diamonds in there and all sorts of stuff. He's always taking care of me with some beautiful, I've got a couple custom pieces. I've got the flag. That's the only one he ever made. That's a custom piece. I hardly wear that one because I hold that so dear to my heart that I only wear it on very, very special occasions. Noreen, good morning to you. Miss Charmaine is in the house. Richard joining us from Round Rock, Texas. So good to see you. Caymanians all over the globe. Anthony says that appeal was so solid that would even make Michelle come out of the woods and give some details. Natasha, good morning to you. Michelle is a little bit different, Anthony. She's different, honey child. All right, let me talk about this petition this morning that is going around, and it is one that you have, if you've not seen it as yet, you need to get on it. Remember Larry. Larry is the crazy guy who assaulted a 17-year-old, I think he was at the time, basically a kid, right? For all intents and purposes, he assaulted this kid. And by the way, I know a lot of you is like, what's going on with Larry's case? Well, the prosecution almost screwed that one up. Something about some technicality with time, but apparently they were able to make some legal arguments and skirt through. And the young man simply got a warning on his record, and that falls away when he's 18 years old. So as soon as he turns 18, he's not even 18 yet. You can imagine going through this level of stress and you're not even 18 yet. Like, this is just so crazy. But so that will fall away. So his case is over, and now we're waiting on the Larry case to come to fruition. So he had a strike on his license, but when he turns 18, apparently that strike will be removed. So good. And of course, Larry is still around the place, parking in blue spots. Like, he actually has a tag to do that, which he doesn't. And so he's making everybody's life miserable because he already thinks he owns the country. So I had it on good authority that when this incident happened, he was in the process of applying for PR. He was at that stage. He does own a local business with some other person who has, put him in a situation. And so what we need to do now is we need to get all of you to sign the petitions to ensure that Larry does not get PR. The government has to understand that there's certain people that we honestly do not want amongst us. And Larry just happens to be one of those people. Okay. So it is what it is. And let me just see if I can get this other one downloaded here. So I need you guys to pay attention, because every single one of you should be signing this petition today if you actually care about the caliber of individuals that we bring in to the Cayman Islands. If you care, this is your opportunity to demonstrate that you care. Those of you who might not remember Larry, he is the guy, let me try and grab a Larry photo real quick. He's the guy who was involved in a road rage incident with an underage, when I say underage, I mean under 18 young man. And he said the young man cut him off. Imagine if you beat up everybody who cut you off in traffic. Gosh darn it. I'd be beating people up all day. Lord Jesus. But that's what Larry felt. And he tried to pull this young man out of his car and assault him. The young man simply defended himself, as he has a right to do on a public road. The police mishandled the situation. They should still be sued as far as I'm concerned. But they mishandled the situation in that when their officers showed up at the scene, they basically ignored the young man, ignored anyone who was local and who wanted to, tell them what had actually happened. They're like, oh, no. We're not talking to you guys. They just wanted to talk to Larry. I was going to say something else, but white Larry, because, apparently he gets a pass from the Jamaican police officers because he's a white person and a foreigner. And somehow that makes him better than us. That has to be what's going on in their head. Because why else do you show up to the scene and not take statements from everyone and listen to everyone equally? Why are you giving Larry preferential treatment? Well, as it turns out, Larry, didn't realize that he can't put his hands on people's children without some of those children responding. Thank God that little young man was able to defend himself from the likes of Larry and his disgusting wife, because Larry's disgusting wife is throwing all kind of racial slurs at this young man, right? And then Larry comes and tries to defend her honor, which she had none to defend. Let's be very, very clear. And then, gets into trying to assault this man. And all he did was defended himself. And Larry's lucky, because I can tell you that if it was some other people, he would have gotten more licks than that. Yeah. So turns out Larry isn't so tough after all. And so one little pop upside his head had Larry bleeding. And I guess that's why this is Larry McGee. That is why the police must have been feeling sorry for him. Like, oh my God, he's bleeding. Oh no, poor Larry. He must be the victim. Larry wasn't the victim when we saw those videos and we heard from the eyewitnesses. Larry was the agitator. He was the perpetrator. He's the instigator. Larry deserved a thumping down in the name of self-defense. Yeah, and he sure got it. Larry thought, oh, I can take advantage of this young little boy. Yeah, he didn't know what time of day it was. That little boy was not today, Bobo. I might be from Prospect, but you're not going to be taking advantage of me today, so good for him. And I'm not a person who normally advocates violence, but if it's self-defense, it's self-defense. So look here now. We need each and every one of you to get on with signing these petitions, or the petition. We were supposed to do one from a long time ago and didn't. So now someone has done it. I think it's a good Dr. Sydney that has started the petition. I'm going to read something that someone else has shared in relation to Larry. So someone sent the following to the Honorable Minister, Mr. Miles, and it was dated today's date. And it's copied to Messieurs Jeremy Scott, Wesley Howell, Jenny Lewis. And it says, Dear Sirs, I should have said, and Madam, because Miss Jenny's a madam. But anyway, let me just screenshot this and read this to you. So yeah, he submitted that application. He got some nerves. Can you imagine the gall that it must take for you to do something like this? At one point be the most hated man in the Cayman Islands, where he was like running to the police because, oh, the neighbors are looking at me strange. He's a menace. He lives out in, is it Northside? And he's such a menace to the people out there. They can't stand him because he's always doing something stupid and rude. But this letter, as we see here, was sent into the authorities, and it says, I write as a deeply concerned and frankly agitated Caymanian regarding the permanent residency application of Mr. Larry McGee. Hello, good morning, caller.
Morning, Sandy. It's Debbie. How are you?
Hey, Debbie, not bad. How you doing?
I'm okay. I saw last night the petition.
Mm-hmm.
I have shared it on my page, and I'm just making a public plea to the Caymanian people that listen to you and your listening audience.
Mm-hmm.
As one of the organizers of the Riff Raff and Larry and Linda protest, I beg the people of the Cayman Islands, my good Caymanians, to please, please sign this petition. We need Larry off of this island. He is one more imported riffraff that we do not need here. He needs to go. So I'm begging people. They didn't show up for the protest. It was not well attended. We had a lot of keyboard warriors, but just sign the petition. But I will say this, even though it was not well attended, we had at least 20 to 30 people who stopped and said, look, we cannot attend the protest,
rally,
rally, but we want to sign the petition. So I am begging my fellow Caymanians, please sign this petition. Your show this entire week has been surrounded about the topic of imported riffraff that we do not need here in Cayman. We can't do anything about Chris Alpers. I've already inquired with the senior members of government about him, and he has status, which seems to be very hard to revoke. However, Larry is applied, as you said correctly, for PR, and he is not going to get PR.
Yeah.
If I have to go and demonstrate in front of the government admin building by myself, I will do so. If I have to go to the authorities that are in higher power, I will do so. If you need my assistance in whatever it takes to get him off of this island, and Linda, but he needs to go. People in Northside tell me that, as you said, he is a menace. He is worse than a menace.
Yeah.
So I'm just making a plea, as a Caymanian and people who know me, please sign this petition.
Yes. Every single person. Right now, we have over 500 people listening to this live stream. And if you've not signed this petition yet, you should. There's zero excuse. As someone just said, if we did not have, Damien says, good morning. If someone had not filmed it, nothing would have come from the incident. Thank God.
And
thank God we had.
Together.
Yes. And
thank you. Or thank
whoever did it. It wasn't, I think it was Sydney. Yes. Dr. Sydney.
I saw it last night and I saw where it's by Sydney. So big shout out to Sydney. But he needs to go. He should have been gone a long time ago. And again, one more time, I am just telling my fellow Caymanians, please sign the petition.
Yeah.
We're the minority in our own country as it is.
Yeah.
What you've exposed this week shows the amount of imported riffraff that we are now dealing with. And this is a different type of riffraff. This is one that is white, who is very entitled and thinks that he's better than anybody else and can treat Caymanians and anyone else lesser than how he considers that he should be treated himself.
Yep.
Anyway, send him back to America and to Trump.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Leroy is asking, said someone bring it to him. There's no need for someone to bring it to you, Leroy. I've just sent you the link on WhatsApp. It's an electronic petition. Just sign it online. It's very, very easy to do. KY Forever says he's still the most hated man in Cayman. Well, there's quite a few that might be vying for that title. L. Young says he drove a smart car, but unfortunately not a smart driver. Jim says there are quite a few Larrys on the island who have already been privileged the honor PR status. Shame, shame, shame. And the point here, thank you so much for that, Jim, is once they have it, it is much more difficult to take it from them. So what we need to do, I've just put the petition link there. I'm going to actually put it as a banner to scroll across the screen as well. What you need to do is ensure that you share this petition with as many people as possible so that they can sign it. And we should have numbers into the thousands. Even if you're not a Caymanian, but you are sitting here enjoying the fruits of this beautiful country. And you get to, see how incredibly peaceful it is. It's not a country where Caymanians are anti-expats. We're not breaking into your homes just because you're an expat. We're not trying to, cut people up and rob people because they're an expat. We live in relatively good harmony with one another. And so, my wish and dream and request is that we continue along those lines, but we can only do so if Caymanians don't continue to be marginalized and assaulted like this young man was by the likes of the Larrys of the world, right? Because, one day Caymanians are going to say, no, we can't be treated as second-class citizens in our own country and continue to treat everybody else nicely while we're treated like ish. So that's it. It's very, very simple. Caymanians are really, for the most part, good, loving, inclusive people. But that will change if we continue to be marginalized. I'm just saying. Facts. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Auntie Sandy.
Morning, Johan. Sound like you're feeling a little bit better.
A little bit. How's it going?
Good. What's on your mind?
I just turned on, and I want to say to the authors of that petition, thank you very much for every patriotic, law-abiding, sensible Caymanian. If there's one thing that we can all agree on, the Cayman Islands do not need people like Larry and his wife and any other racist, bigot piece of shit that thinks that.
Hello, Johan.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna be like Kerry. I'm gonna say I didn't realize it was
you gonna be like Kerry and get your behind blocked. That's what you gonna do. Go on.
As long as you bring brownies, that's all I care. Anyway, I was saying this one situation and these two people are enough to galvanize every Caymanian to stand shoulder to shoulder and say, no more, no mas. We don't need and we don't want people like that. Let's go back to the facts. These people, because of a traffic incident, decided that it was okay to assault and attack a young Caymanian law-abiding citizen who was in his own car. Crazy Larry had the temerity to go up to that young man and grab him out of his car, which meant that he recognized and cared no means for the fact that there were boundaries. Anything that started, and we all saw the videos, and I'm not sure how the RCIPS could not see the 10 different, angles that we all saw that you did a fantastic job of covering. But how in good conscience can anybody sign up and support people like that for permanent residency, status, and all the rest of it? Because that young fellow, Jackson, conducted himself with class and dignity and acted in self-defense, yet the RCIPS and I'm assuming it's the DPP have decided to charge him when he gets charged for some madness, but Larry gets the privilege, or Crazy Larry gets the privilege of getting to apply for Caymanian status. There's a reason why this country is going to hell in a handbasket, and it's because we facilitate people that come here that don't respect us, that don't like us, that don't appreciate the fact that they are privileged to come and live in Cayman, and they think they can take their boto or racist or just crackerish ways and bring it here to Cayman and assault everything about us. Our family members, our children, our culture, our heritage, everything that makes Cayman good. They want to basically be a part of it, but they don't want Caymanians to be in any of it. So this is a clear case, and I, Renard Johan Moxham, and am asking the members of the Cayman Islands permanent residency and status board to please do your patriotic duty. How can you in good conscience ever allow somebody like this to get Caymanian status and to have the privilege to call himself Caymanian and to live amongst us when he has no respect for us? Because if he could do that to a young man, a child, somebody's child, what would he do to you? And we need to do a better job of rooting all of those evil, wicked, nasty, racist, ignorant people out of our country. And it starts with using Crazy Larry and his wife and people like that as an example. Because I promise you this, if Crazy Larry was not a Caucasian male, and if he was not from America, and if he was from Jamaica, from Cuba, from Honduras, from anywhere else, or a person of color, this would be the easiest decision in the world for the board to make. This is still an easy decision because we, law-abiding citizens in the Cayman Islands, do not want or need people like Crazy Larry, his wife, and people that think like that, act like that, and behave like that, and have no respect for us. Can you imagine if that child didn't defend himself, that young man didn't defend himself? And again, I commend that young man for showing some restraint, because had that been Gigi or my boys, Auntie Sandy, that's a completely different conversation that we're having altogether. So again, Caymanians, let's rally around this issue to send a clear message to all of them, because there's more than Crazy Larry out there. They work with us sometimes in some places, and they really don't have respect for us, so they should not be given the privilege and the honor of getting to stay in Cayman, call themselves Caymanian, and contaminate this country any further. So thank you for everything that you're doing, and thank you for the authors of the petition. I'll be signing, but we need to send a clear message to our politicians. And politicians, you have been voted in to represent the views of the people. This is as cut and dry as it gets. Because if you think that he could do that to a child and have no conscience, what he can do to Anna? So there's no level of Cayman society can go, well, poor him, poor. No, there's no poor Larry. Go be poor Larry back home where somebody would shoot you for being that aggressive. He's lucky he's in Cayman.
Right in his own country. No, not any island in the United States of America. Had he done that, he probably would have been shot like a dog in the streets. Let's be honest.
Well, and
in America,
and let's face it, for his ignorant actions and his lack of respect, he would have deserved it.
Yep.
So if he deserved it in America, he doesn't deserve to stay here in Cayman and have the privilege of being called a Caymanian. And I don't care who he's connected to. I don't care who his friends are. I don't care if he gave donations to a politician. He exemplifies what we don't want in this country.
Exactly.
And every single one of us need to rally around each other and go, we can make an example of Larry, his wife, and all of them, because they do not fit in the Cayman that we want to build together, where our children are safe. Because it could have been young Jackson, tomorrow it could be yours or mine.
Amen. Thank you
very much, Auntie Sandy.
All righty.
Keep it up.
No lies told. No lies told. Sign the petition. Share the petition. Also, if you've had any Larry experiences, you need to reach out. So that's why I love this letter, because this person took pen to paper and they actually sent correspondence to WORC and the minister. And that is precisely what you have to do. If you do not do that, right, even with the petition, there's a chance that, that petition doesn't hold a lot of weight. Send your specific examples of the interactions that you've had with Larry, how he's making people's lives miserable in the District of Northside. I mean, they've seen how many times he's disrespected the blue spot. That alone should be enough. But WORC complaints at gov.ky. Email WORC complaints at gov.ky, or you can send it straight to the minister himself, who I'm sure will forward it on, or you can send it right to Jeremy Scott, jeremy.scott@gov.ky. Denny, we got two callers on the line. Denny, you're up first.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
You're telling me that the case with the 17-year-old is over?
With him, not against Larry. That one's coming up.
And so the 17-year-old has been given a warning.
I understand that he has had the person called it a, let's see, I can read exactly what was said, a strike on his license, but when he turns 18, it will be removed. So I don't even know what a strike is.
What's the strike?
I have no clue. I've never heard of a strike on your license before.
Let me tell you what message that sends to me. That sends to me the message that the young man was wrong. And to me, therein lies the injustice.
Well, hold on a second. A strike against his license to me says that what he was ultimately convicted of was a traffic offense. So maybe, overtaking Larry, maybe that is the offense. Giving Larry the well-deserved thump on his head for self-defense, that's not what a strike on your license is for.
Overtaking is an offense?
Well, cutting him off. So there was, it can be seen as careless or reckless driving. And I think that's what he was charged with. I don't think you can't get a strike on your license for something.
We need to find out what's actually happening there, because I haven't been following these types of things lately as much as I normally would, but I don't like the sound of that. Anyhow.
I'll try and find out. It was inconsiderate driving. That's right. I was trying to remember. So remember a charge that none of us had ever heard of? He was charged with inconsiderate driving. So I guess they found him guilty of inconsiderate driving, which again, none of us have ever heard of such a charge. It is actually on the books, though.
Those are the types of laws that caused the U.S. Revolution. Make them keep it up.
Okay, thank you, Denny. Next caller, good morning.
Yeah, it's me again, Sandra. Well, Dennis' question and your answers just blew my mind. That's not really what I called about. But that really triggered me. Inconsiderate driving. I've never heard of that charge before. If that were the case, I would be charged on a daily basis. So moving on, I should really call to commend Johan for what he said, because he summed everything up in a nutshell, how we feel as Caymanians. I'm so triggered by this topic with Larry and Linda. We put so much effort into this, and we got so little response. But Johan, more in a very calm, more, I guess, not triggered way, he summed it up perfectly. I do not need to repeat what he said, but kudos to Johan. Larry has got to go. I know what I can say on air before 9:30, and I am going to be able to abstain from using profanity. But I can sum it up for you that you will understand the gist of where I'm coming from. What that 17-year-old should have had in the back of his car was a 5-gauge shotgun, and that should have been aimed up the derriere of Larry. So I will leave it there, but that is what Larry deserves. He's a bully, and he needs to go. That's the last time that I'm going to call in, because, like I said, he has me really triggered, everything that I'm hearing. And one last question. This was what I really wanted to call in about. Did I hear Johan say that he gave contributions to a politician and got favors from a politician?
I don't.
Are my lying eyes, are my ears, are my lying ears hearing correctly?
I didn't hear that, to be honest.
He did say, yeah.
But I think
contributions to a politician.
I think I don't know if he was generally speaking, but I'm not so sure that is
because I would like to know, and I'm pretty sure that the general public would like to know, what politician did he give favors to that allowed him to stay on this island indefinitely? Now that is something that I want to know.
Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know.
All right. Let's see if we can find out more.
If somebody can please come forward and answer that, if Johan can call back. But I know he's listening, and kudos to you, Johan. You said it very eloquently, and you didn't skip any beats. But I want to know what politician did favors or he did contributions to his campaign or whatever. If it was a campaign or if it was the last government in power, whatever the case is. Well, it would have had to been the last government in power because this government hadn't been elected yet. But yeah, that needs to be revealed to the public. We need to know that as well.
All right. Thank you, caller. All right, folks. Anthony says Larry is always hanging out in Bodden Town by, is it the Check-In Grill? Shezin? What are they called? That place there, with his waste basket parked on the sidewalk. He looks like he's permanently drunk. Am I the only person who thinks that Larry might be an alcoholic? Because he always looks drunk. He looked drunk that night that he got his beat down. And, every time I see somebody take a picture of him, he looks permanently drunk to me. Then he showed up at Health City because, people in the waiting room saw him showing up at Health City the day after, still looking nasty and drunk, like he didn't even go home and have a bath. Good morning, caller.
Morning from the beautiful island of Cayman.
Hey,
how you doing?
Curtis, how you doing? I hope you signed this petition already.
That's what I'm calling about. Is it available in the BRAC for us to sign?
Anybody can sign it because it's online. So it doesn't matter where in the world you are. We got Caymanians all over the world listening. Okay. My fellow Caymanians, please ensure that you sign the petition. And as soon as you sign it, you turn around and share it with somebody else so that they can sign it. Everybody needs to sign this petition. I have signed it already. I'm going to send you the link right now, Curtis. And I'm going to leave it up to you to make sure everybody in Cayman Brac gets it.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
I didn't get Lemardo to sign it also if he comes to the Brac.
That's funny. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, honey child. Oh, speaking of Lamardo, there's one thing that we're going to correct here this morning. Just give me a quick second. Let's get through this letter. So it says, I write as a deeply concerned and frankly agitated Caymanian regarding the permanent residence application of Mr. Larry McGean. Larry and Linda go hand in hand. This matter is not one that should be taken lightly. The granting of permanent residency in the Cayman Islands is a privilege, not a right, and it must be reserved for individuals who demonstrate good character, sound judgment, and respect for the people of this country. It is therefore extremely troubling to raise that Mr. McGean has already displayed behavior that calls his suitability into serious question. Of particular concern is a reported altercation involving a young Caymanian, which allegedly stemmed from a road rage incident. From what has been shared within the community, this situation escalated unnecessarily after a minor driving issue with a young Caymanian driver, where a young Caymanian driver nearly collided with Mr. McGean's vehicle. Instead of exercising restraint and maturity, Mr. McGean reportedly responded in a hostile and aggressive manner. Let me pause. He's trying to drag the boy out the car to assault him. Why else would you drag somebody out of their car? Through the window or through the door? Let's continue. This kind of conduct is unacceptable. It reflects a temperament that is not in keeping with the values of respect, restraint, and community harmony that we expect from individuals seeking to make the Cayman Islands their permanent home. Caymanians should not have to feel intimidated, threatened, or disrespected in their own country. We are already facing growing concerns about social tensions, and the last thing we need is to grant permanent residence status to individuals who may contribute to conflict rather than cohesion. Oh, love it. Permanent residency must not be granted to anyone who demonstrates hostility toward Caymanians, especially our young people. I strongly urge the relevant authorities to carefully review his application with the seriousness it deserves. Any decision must prioritize the safety, dignity, and well-being of Caymanians above all else. Approving this application under such circumstances would send the wrong message that this kind of behavior is tolerated. Caymanians deserve better. We deserve to feel secure, respected, and heard in matters that directly impact our society. Therefore, I feel that it would not be unfair on my part to ask that Mr. Larry McGean not be granted permanent residency in the Cayman Islands. Thank you, author. Couldn't agree with that letter anymore. And someone asked the question as to why, Lavana says, why does he want to be Caymanian and doesn't even like us? Because they want the benefits of being able to live in a beautiful tax-free jurisdiction that is safe, where literally you can go around assaulting people and still live to tell the tale. Because I'm telling you, in a lot of jurisdictions, like I said, including his own United States of America, he would literally be in fear of his own life. He would not, he wouldn't, I don't even think he would be that stupid, but Americans are special kind of stupid at times, right? There's a guy who has an entire channel around this. I see him all the time on Facebook, where he talks about where people, approach people with racial slurs. They think that they want to fight. And then when they get that first thump down from the young African-American man, then they realize it's FAFO time. And then they're like, oh, shoot, I can't even fight. Oh, darn, I forgot I can't fight my way out of a, wet crockett. What do we call it? A wet crocosac. So yeah, it's pretty wild. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy. Just trying to join in on this matter about the young man and the permanent residency. I have just been checking the law to see if there is a specific paragraph under which this can be rejected. I'm still looking. I'm not quite sure, but what I have found is section 51, subsection 1N. N is Niagara. It says that one of the grounds on which permanent residency may be revoked is that, quote, the person is deemed by cabinet to be an undesirable inhabitant of the Cayman Islands, unquote. I imagine, therefore, that cabinet, even in this case, can declare the person to be undesirable on the basis of those facts. And once they declare him undesirable, then I would imagine that would bind the permanent residency board not to grant it. And I think the safest thing for cabinet to do is now to declare him to be undesirable on account of that incident. Just in case, you see, when it goes to permanent residency board and the attorney general gets involved, you will be shocked. They will end up saying, well, but there's no ground upon which it can be refused and so on, because I know these people have worked with them. So I think cabinet should take the proactive step, declare him to be an undesirable person on the basis of this, and then we can declare it closed. If they grant permanent residency to these guys, let me stop on that. Then the government is stupid, but I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, caller.
Right.
Yes, I mean, I have actually spoken to someone on the administrative side from when this incident happened with Larry, and they said, yes, character does matter when you submit like your PR application. And if enough people are writing in about Larry's character, which was demonstrated in this incident, as well as his ongoing behavior within the Northside community, there's absolutely no way that he should be able to get PR and then be on his way to becoming a Caymanian. So KK says he lives in Run Point. He lives Run Point way, surely not the other way, because he wouldn't have had, because he wouldn't had like the neighbors then. What other way? That's a little bit confusing. Shamika, the link is there for the petition. I also have it scrolling across the page. Thank you, Miss Sue. She says that she signed it. Meg wants to know where to sign it. Like I said, I've shared the link there. If you're on YouTube, I think it should be a clickable link for you in YouTube. KY says I signed it. Status should not be difficult to revoke on those who break the laws of the Cayman Islands. If this were passed into law, a lot would get cleaned up and straightened out real quick, including these marriages too. We got to know the people who come here by way of a marriage of convenience can't just be breaking your laws and have no consequences just because they're married to Caymanian. Because apparently they seem to think that is the royal grail of like how the path to becoming Caymanian. Oh, just marry one of those fools. That's what they're thinking, right? Bring all of my 50 family members from back home. And as long as I keep him happy with a little roll in the sack every once in a while and a split down the middle, everything will always be good and kosher. No. We might have a few dumb Caymanians. I'll grant that. Not all of us are equally yoked, right? So some of them not got one ounce of sense. They will fall for anything. But that does not mean that we should be giving them and their spouses a pass to abuse people in this country and outside of this country. Come on, folks, sign the petition. Should be into the thousands. May I ask, why do immigration stop advertising PR and status for the public? Why not online on the government WRC website? Who is applying? Good question, and I don't know. Very says data protection. No. They stopped this long before the data protection legislation even existed. Just pure slackness. It's like all these people that they're talking about with pension and insurance. Remember the one time, I'll give Lonnie Tibbetts his props, when he was head of labor and pension, he used to actually publish which of the companies were not compliant with the law. And they were pissed off about that. And you know what I say? Make them be pissed off about it. Start publishing it again. If you're breaking the laws in this country, it's just like the court list. You break the laws in this country, you show up on the cause list. You show up on the court list that you're in court. Right? Why shouldn't you? I'm stirring my creatine that I need to drink here this morning. I should be drinking this with a straw, but anyway. Prosperity Purpose says he does not deserve to be here. Damien, he did call in. There you go. Well said, Johan. Call it what it is. Jim Crow behavior, says Miss Brenda. Kaboom to Johan, says strong wilt. Ms. Jean is in the house. So that's exactly what's happening in the U.S. Islamic do not want to assimilate. This is the same thing. So look out for Muslims. Oh, Jean, good Lord. Really? That's the takeaway here? Larry is not a Muslim, right? The people that we're having issues with in this country are not Muslims. It's people like Larry who come here from America extraordinaire, from the UK extraordinaire, and think that they're somebody special just because of the color of their skin. Let's not conflate the issues here. This ain't got nothing to do with the Muslims. Why y'all dragging them into this conversation? Only God knows. How about we focus on Larry? I would have loved for you, Jean, this morning to actually put Larry in his place and say something about him and his behavior instead of focusing on Muslims who got no part in this conversation this morning. You see how we're not even willing to call people out? How does this become an issue about Muslims? Wow. You have a chance to say, I've signed the petition. I don't support racist, ignorant people like Larry. And instead, you make this about Muslims. Y'all need to get out of your feelings about the Muslim community because it's deep. Really ridiculous. Ms. Brenda says they shouldn't be given the license to disrespect us. Is he Canadian? Damon says he's Canadian. Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, our Maple Leaf friends, they're special too. Brenda says kaboom for both callers. How do you access the petition? Misty, I think I have you on WhatsApp still. I had you a long time ago. Do I still have you? I can forward it to you on WhatsApp if you want to shoot me a quick message. That's probably the easiest way. 324-1612. How did you get the photos? Did you get the photos of the Caymanian that died in Jamaica? We're going to get to that here in just a second. All right, sign the Larry petition. Thanks for clarifying he's Canadian. I don't know if the Maple Leaf Mafia is quite as bad as the Americans when it comes to the level of like somebody would have thumped him in his head. Maybe not. I think Americans are a little bit special in some regards, right? With the fighting and the brawling in the streets. But, you know, I think if he bucked up on the wrong Canadian, I suppose they would have thumped him on the head too. But I don't know. Maybe they would have offered him some maple syrup and waffles or something. I'm not sure. Y'all Canadians are a little bit too nice sometimes. So I don't know how you would have reacted to Larry, but he's Canadian. There you go. Doesn't make one ounce of difference to me if he's Canadian or American. He's still if it was 932, fill in the blank, begins with an A, ends with an E, and it's a 2-word thing that you put together. Strong Will said he should be in Jamaica. Lord God, he would know a thing or two then. So again, Gio, the petition link, I'll paste it here again. We pasted it earlier, but maybe. So this person, thank you for clarifying, because I did get this question. For the petition, some civil servants may be afraid to sign because they believe it is not allowed. Might want to highlight that it doesn't go against the Public Service Code of Conduct. So yes, you are allowed as a civil servant. We've got the public life. If you want to see it for yourself, we do have the Code of Conduct. You are permitted to sign petitions. So someone did just ask me that question. In fact, you are permitted to sign the petition. So fear not, as a civil servant, you too can sign it, because we know the government is the largest employer in the Cayman Islands, and some of you might be fearful, and I'm here to reassure you, and I will send you the actual public, the Code of Conduct, which is on the Public Standards and Public Life Commission.ky website. All right. So don't be fearful of signing it. Just sign it, honey child. Okay. The other thing as well that I wish to quickly mention, we have been talking about, one of my American friends says, Larry's a jerk. Screw Larry. Not literally. Good morning. Does Larry have a work permit? He apparently owns a car business here with a local guy. My girlfriend had a very unprofessional experience regarding the car that she bought from his business. Yes, he is currently on a work permit. through the business that he is a partner of. So what I would recommend, let me get you the WORC email, my darling. Send that to your friend and also have her send that complaint to, also have her send that complaint to, let's see here. Also have her send that complaint to WORC as well. Where's the email address again? I think it was complaints@WORC. Let me just double check. Hold on. Yeah, send it in. Send it in. Show that not only is he's a horrible person, WORC complaints@gov.ky, but he's also a horrible businessman. Because once again, that's not who you want to be giving PR to. Have her write government and let them know. Can children sign? That I would say that if their parents give them permission, although children can't be party to a contract, can they sign a petition? I don't know. I mean, children, you know, we got smart kids now who want to be advocates in all sorts of issues. Anthony's asking the same question. I'm now seeing this here. Is there an age limit for persons receiving permanent residency? Oh, that's a different question. Larry seems a very age-able man. No, I don't think PR has anything to do with age, but can children sign a petition? I might have to go to my AI Samantha and ask the question. Hold on, because I don't know. Let me see. Let me see what AI is going to tell me. Hold on. Can minors sign petitions? We'll do it under UK law because we fall under them. Let's see what it says. Give me 1 second. Send him back to wherever Crazy Larry is from and deny his application to secure Cayman status. We do not want or need people like that in our country, says Johan. Vera Pat says you cannot overtake in certain areas. And it wasn't even, listen, the government's ridiculous. All right. Yes. In most situations in the UK, there's no general minimum age to sign a petition, but the exact rules depend on the type of condition and the body receiving it. The official guidance states that British citizens and UK residents can sign their petition and does not specify any minimum age. So I would say that yes, given this, that children can sign a petition. These are high schoolers, and I think that that's fine. If it's like a really young kid who doesn't really understand what it is that they're signing, then obviously that's a different situation. But those teenagers, they know all about Larry, honey child, and they are very, very aware of what Larry did. I'm feeling for some good lunch today. Can I tell you, it's only 8:30 in the morning. And I was just thinking I should have some protein. Like I should ask Miss Stacy to boil me some eggs, but I don't want to ruin my reputation. I don't want to ruin my appetite for lunch today. And so I'm not going to, I'm going to wait. Ugh. Where's Kevin? I need a good lunch date today. I'm going to message Kevin and Marlon to take me for lunch. I feel like some good Peking duck, actually. I was thinking about Peking duck from yesterday. Delicious. Good morning, caller.
Yes, it's me again. Very, very briefly, Sandy. I think what you read certainly is correct. I know AI is 99% sometimes correct. It should be correct because I do not know of any law in the Cayman Islands which governs petition. I know that in some places they will have a law which specifically says, like, for example, if you want to remove a governor, you can sign a petition if you are 18 years old, because that is something regulated by law. But this one does not appear to be specifically regulated by law. It is just people who are concerned and are old enough just to understand what it is. It is more like a society petition. I think, as you say, and as AI says, I think they should be fine. I mean, there may be an issue like if, for example, somebody who is, I don't know if it can even happen, somebody who is 7, 8 years old signs it. But if you are somewhere around 12 and above, like somebody who can be liable for a criminal offense, 12 years or above, you should be able to sign. Yeah, I would agree. Any person who wants to sign and is underage, let them sign it. I think it should be good.
Yeah.
Thank
you very much. And by the way,
Yes.
You don't have to, and I will post the petition on our social media pages and stuff as well. And perhaps I'll actually do an article that the petition has been started so that those of you who visit the website can also get the link that way. So we'll put it up. But let me also say this, you don't have to be a Caymanian to sign the petition. You could be one of the sensible Canadians, Filipinos, Africans, from anywhere in the world, Americans who live amongst us who want to continue to live in harmony with Caymanians. And then you're like, listen, I don't agree with what Larry did. What Larry did is completely wrong. And so, yeah, go ahead and sign the petition too. It doesn't say you have to be a Caymanian. You just have to be someone who stands for the right thing. And a lot of our foreign friends we know stand for the right thing as well. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra.
Morning, dear. How you doing?
Question for you to ask immigration.
Sure.
I know of a Jamaican whose work permit application was turned down when they did an investigation and they said that he's of an undesirable character. And he wasn't in the public domain. Larry, based on all the evidence, he is clearly in that position. So it doesn't even have to reach cabinet. They can revoke his permit on the basis that he's an undesirable character.
Yeah. Yes, I mean that too. I don't know exactly what they're waiting for. But yep, I agree. But of course, I mean, because his company is basically his work permit holder. I'm sure they're going to be fighting that to the tilt. But anyway, I agree with you that he shouldn't even be here in a work permit. But let's see what happens with the outcome of his case and after he has that conviction. All right, caller. Okay, I think. Okay. Some of y'all people just love social media a bit too much. Mel, look at what I'm about to send you. Our friend is at it again, doing her social media videos, trying to be an influencer, and then saying, but it's none of your business what's going on with my life. Well, why do you keep trying to tell us? If it's truly none of our business and we don't really care, why do you keep trying to be relevant? My goodness, poor thing. All right. I digress. Thank you so much to Mitch, Cayman Kind, No Cayman Spine, # Deport Larry. Thank you, Miss Sharon. She says, I have signed it. Leticia, thank you so much. Sign the petition. Angela Mack, morning to you. Sign it. Amir says, isn't this the same person the youth was arrested about? Yes, same one. That's what we're talking about. So sign the petition. Someone sent me a video about Larry. Let me just clear it first and make sure it doesn't have any profanity or anything into it before we play these, because I actually haven't listened to them. All right, so I'll ask somebody in the CMR team to just have a quick listen. I don't remember that any of these videos do, but let me just verify. Brenda says, waiting for the elephant in the room to stand up. Evelyn is on the road. We'll sign it later. Racism and Cayman strong, skin color, nationality. Money talks, BS walk, says Miss Sue. Can citizens / civil servants write their own letters to the PR board asking on behalf of someone? Yes. You mean people who have had experiences with him? Of course they can. Absolutely. Or if they just want to send a general letter like this one, expressing their, expressing their thoughts about Larry. Yes. Get them to sign. Miss Sue says her grandchildren will sign it. Morning, Senor LeMay. Can a born Caymanian who is naturalized American citizen living in America sign? Anybody, Wanda, can sign the petition. You don't even have to be a Caymanian. You are just a person who stands for the right thing. Okay? So just sign it. Lots of sensible people all over the world can see what Larry did was just wrong on so many levels. Share your turtle. I know someone is bringing some for you. I'm waiting. No pizza for me. I'm not really a huge pizza person like that, actually. But today I feel for some duck. Yum, 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 yum. All right, let's move on. A couple things petition. Couple things that I just want to clarify. So the first one is we do have a list of the countries that require a visa to come into Cayman. So I know yesterday there was a little bit of a question about whether or not someone can I might have missed it, but what's the definition of an undesirable person? I can think of others that would fall into that category that have not been violent. Thanks for raising the petition. I'm signing it. So, well, I guess just the common understanding of an undesirable person can probably run the gamut. It doesn't necessarily mean that the person has to be violent. There's a lot of things that make you undesirable. And I think that people who write into WRC or any agency and they use the term undesirable, what you need to do is you need to say why you think the person is undesirable. So generally speaking, that is a person who's conducted themselves in such a way that, you know, they should not be. Actually, in fact, we have a legal definition. Oh, excuse me. My AI assistant is just outdoing me this morning. Thank you, AI Samantha. So in Cayman law, this is just, oh my God, having information at your fingertips is just so amazing. In Cayman law, undesirable person is a defined immigration term, not a general insult. Look at AI Sam coming through, top A student. And it turns on whether someone's presence is seen as a threat to peace, order, good government, or public morals. Wow, thank you. Oh, we got a specific definition. It says under the Caymanian protection law, as referenced in later consolidations, an undesirable person means a person who, in the opinion of the governor, oh God, have mercy, don't say the governor, because she might not think he's undesirable, but anyway, is or has been so conducting himself, whether within or outside of the Cayman Islands, that his presence in these islands is or is likely to be prejudicial to the maintenance of peace, order, and good governance or public morals of the island. Key point, it's based on the governor's opinion. Well, God, we should change that. So it is a discretionary public order assessment, not an automatic status. It's focused on conduct that threatens peace, order, good government, or public morals, whether that conduct happened in or outside of the Cayman Islands. Similar wording in other Commonwealth law jurisdictions as well. So very similar formulations appear in other Commonwealth deportation statutes, which define an undesirable person as someone conducting himself so as to be dangerous to peace, good order, good government, or public morals. And this helps confirm the public order, morality focus of the term rather than any private or moral disapproval in the everyday sense. Okay, so that's what we got. Absolutely. And we would hope that the governor of the Cayman Islands is actually listening to the people of the Cayman Islands and taking on, taking on the public opinion that is widely held. He is on a work permit. Isn't that grounds for a plane ride home after the court case? I'm thinking we all are supposed to be good little Muppets, at least until we get PR even status. Does it happen? Does that even happen? Somebody writes in because they think a person is shady. Send me the petition so I can sign it and share it. Yes. Good morning, ma'am. Please. The governor in the context means governor and cabinet. So cabinet. Oh, thank you. Whew. I thought they meant the actual governor because I was like, oh. So we got some clarification from a lawyer. Appreciate it. Governor and cabinet. Better. And cabinet better not overstep. They're elected officials. They know what time of day it is. And please also remember, cabinet members, that we have not forgotten that you guys said that you would actually do something about making it easier to revoke people like the other guy with the boat ramp there in West Bay once they have status. So make sure you get those revisions going as well. Would it take a protest or riots in the streets for the governor to see that if Larry stays here, it would disrupt the peace? I don't think the governor and cabinet, as now we have been reliably informed, I don't think our officials are that stupid, our elected officials. They know what time it is. Okay. They frightened because he drives a Tesla and have Tesla truck money. That piece of trash. Driving a Tesla does not make you anybody special. I can assure you of that. And that has to be the ugliest vehicle I've ever laid eyes on, the Tesla Cybertruck. By the way, do you know that they're just like basically sitting on, in the US, they're just sitting on dealer lots and stuff like that. They're not even selling. Tesla's losing tons of money in these Cybertrucks. They're old. They're looking old already. They are legitimately the ugliest vehicle I've ever laid eyes on. I can't think of an uglier vehicle. And I've not even seen the inside. They're so impractical on so many levels, but they're just straight up ugly. Brenda says, well, Larry and Linda just aced it. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Quick question.
Yes, hi.
I don't know. You have a long reach. Have you ever checked to see if he's ever done anything like this before, whether it's here or in the States? Because he has a temper, and the way he was so volatile, I wouldn't be surprised if he's had this before.
Yeah. Well, they say he's Canadian.
Or wherever it was.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard anything, but I mean, like I said, he looks like he's in a permanent state of intoxication. So
right. So that would probably mean that there would probably other cases. Then the other question I have is, do we have anybody in Ireland that studies behavior? Because sometimes doing somebody that, like a psychotherapist, or I don't know what you call them, whatever therapist, that you can garner a lot from a video that we who are ignorant wouldn't be able to see or understand, that could shore up whatever is going towards the cabinet or towards whatever. Because sometimes somebody might look at the video and say, just at 5 minutes, you look at everything else that he does, and that one thing doesn't make a difference. That negative thing doesn't make a difference. But if you have somebody who studies behavior or anything, that can shed more on it, so that we can, see from a different light.
What more?
So that
I am curious as to what more light you need. I mean, I think we saw everything.
No, but you know how? Okay, I know why I say what I say. Because you might have somebody be like, he never even punched him, or there was no blood. He never went to no hospital. And they'll say something like that, and it'll be overlooked, because that's what we do in positions of power. Because he might have money, or he might be doing something else. It only takes one person in power to say, that just one time, it never happened again. Look how long he's been here, or look what he did for the community, or look what he did for the prime minister. So I'm just trying to say, if there's something else other than, in addition to the petition or whatever, that we can use to shore up whatever, to try and get the desired result we are looking for. You know?
Well, I think, thank you very much for that. I think the video obviously said a lot. Anyone with a little bit of sense in terms of public sentiment, it is obvious that, they can see Larry for the type of person he is. The constant complaints from the residents there in the district as well that he resides in. I think that's more than enough evidence of the type of person he is, the character he has. Even the fact that he continually parks in a blue spot and ignores the blue spot rules. He really thinks that he's somebody special when he really isn't. So, yeah, you know, how they know Larry owns a Tesla. The banks here give loans to vehicles to anybody. Yeah. And also he's in the car business, right? So I'm not saying that Larry's not someone of financial means. Ironically, I had forgotten that I'd actually came across Larry before. I had actually met Larry and sat down at a table with Larry at Georgetown Yacht Club. And when this incident happened, I didn't realize that until later on. Larry, came out as such a small place sometimes. Like it really, really is. So Larry has a connection, and I'm not going to go into any details really too much on this because I do have this trial coming up on Wednesday. So finally, by the way, Wednesday, the 1st, I'm supposed to be, I hope there's no further delays. I should be in court for the start of my trial with, what's his name? John Felder. So it starts on Wednesday, the 1st. Supposed to be a 2-day trial. I'm so ready to get this over with. But Larry had a connection to John Felder back in the day in that he was trying to buy his business. So Larry's been around for a little minute, and he's in the business of these e-vehicles and stuff like that. So I'm sure it's easy for Larry to buy his own e-vehicle. I don't know what the Cybertrucks go for, but right now the value of a Cybertruck has significantly deteriorated. Like they're not worth hardly anything anymore. But I think when they first came out, they might have been maybe in the $60,000 or $70,000 range. I can't even recall off the top of my head, but their value has gone down significantly because, yeah, they're just not really all of that. So 2026 Cybertruck AWD models run between 60 to 80 grand US, depending on configuration and destination fees. You can get it trimmed out, top trimmed out, I guess, to about 100K USD, 15,000 USD price reduction in early 2026, because they're not really selling all that well. Depending on the year, you know, so probably like 70, 75K. There's lots of vehicles that cost way more than that. And they're actually better quality vehicles. The one thing that I have learned, unfortunately, about a Tesla is they do not hold their value. Honey child, give me a Benz any day over Tesla. I'll tell you all the Tesla story one of these days. You're not going to get much money when you try to resell them. They do not hold their value. Jim says the video speaks for itself, clear and loud. Them ugly like army trucks. Remember when people were all into the Hummers, and they're kind of army looking as well. But even a Hummer it's not a practical vehicle. Does anybody still own a Hummer in Cayman? I've not seen one of them in donkey years. They're not practical vehicles because of their size, but even the Hummers are a better looking vehicle. The Cybertrucks are like weird. It's like some alien designed it. Aliano says China is killing the EV market, with far better cars, in my opinion. I'm going to give you a kaboom. And right about now, I'm going to do a shameless plug. I know we got over 700 people listening to the live stream, and I'm going to do a shameless plug to my good friends over there as part of the Car City family. Big shout out to Taylor Foster. Taylor, how you doing, honey child? So they own a number of different brands, including Mercedes. So you guys know I love them already. That's my brand, my personal brand of choice. And they also own Hondas, which is also my personal brand of choice. I love me a good Honda. And so, yes, Alfred, would you say JEC is better than Tesla? I'm coming to that. How did you know what I was thinking this morning? So let me talk about the JEC vehicles. OMG. Like I said, this is a shameless plug. We actually have purchased not one, but two of these JEC vehicles, and I love, love, love them. Feature rich. These are the new Chinese brand. I think you guys remember when I went to the product launch last year, and they can barely keep them on the lot. But honey child, let me tell you, they have so many amazing features. More features than the Tesla for a fraction of the price. So if you're on a budget, and they're not bad looking cars. Now I'm talking about leather interior, full panoramic sunroof. One of the features that I absolutely love is, you know, when you're driving and sometimes you kind of go over the side a little bit, or you change lanes and you don't put on your indicator and the little line thing tells you beep, beep, you're kind of going over because the car doesn't necessarily know if you're like drifting because you're falling asleep or whatever. Wow. The JEC, now I don't know that it's all models, but this particular one has a feature where it'll show you the line on the heads up display and it's going to buzz like beep, 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 beep. And it has a vibration in the seat on the side that you're going over, which, like, if you were, that's a safety thing. And I think it's an amazing feature because think about it. If you were kind of dozing off and you were drifting, right? Sometimes the sound might not even wake you up, but the vibration in the seat, beeping plus vibration in the seat, that's going to get your attention. Oh, yes, honey child. They got the seats, the front seats. This is the 7-seater now. So like when you want the little family vehicle, right? So the front seats have massager in the seat. It has cool and heaters in the seat. Oh my God. They're like all tricked out. They're amazing. The only feature that I wish it had, that I would make it my everyday ride. I'd be like, Marlon, you take the Benz. I'm going to take the JEC. The only feature I wish it had was for the doors, the soft closed doors, you know, so you don't have to slam the door all the time. You just like barely push it in and then it sucks it all the way. That's the only thing that's missing. It's got heads up display. It has, oh my gosh, all sorts of features. All sorts of features. I'm in love. I'm in love with the Coco. I'm in love with the GAC. Oh my God. Somebody says my Jag does it in the steering wheel. Oh, nice. I love it in the seat. I'd be like, oh yeah, put on your indicator, honey child. They're good cars. I'm not going to lie. Someone says, this is Johan. I ain't got no time for car talk. Today is Friday. Fire 'em Fridays. Fry 'em Fridays. You need to try and behave yourself, Johan. But yeah, go check him out. Tell him Auntie Sandy sent you by. Arlie will take care of you. He is, it falls under the Audi brand because, you know, they've got like Car City, Mercedes, they have different locations. And I'm telling you that the Chinese vehicles are going to be taken over right here in the Cayman Islands. They're giving everybody a run for their money because it came down to that versus a Honda Pilot. And the Honda Pilot has less features. It didn't have like the camera. They haven't updated the Honda camera in forever. Honda, I love you, but you gotta do better with certain things still. And I can tell you that GAC camera is crystal clear. Okay, I'm glad I spot checked these videos because one has a lot of cussing, so we have to save that for after 9:30. And the other one is clean. So, all right, honey child. Plenty Hummers here, even electric ones. Really? They're still around? Ugh. Fugly. Somebody says one thing that seems to be readily available around here is Audacity. Talking about Larry. Those thieves of Canadians, they're nasty and prejudiced too. They like to show their dislike for us a long time now. Oh my God. All righty. Nothing gets done. Caymanian, Jamaican, Filipino, cruise, boat people, anybody can be here by plane, or boat and do whatever without fear. Well, I don't know about that. I think they should be fearful. Especially if they end up in CMR. All right, let's talk about this very unfortunate news this morning. I mean, I cannot, have a show on a day like this and not talk about the unfortunate death of a Caymanian overseas. It's horrible that we even have to talk about this, but here we are. So a Caymanian has died overseas. It's still a live investigation. So of course, we're trying to be as sensitive to the family as we possibly can. But y'all also know that the name of the show is The Cold Hard Truth. So I want to extend my condolences to the family. And I feel very, very sorry for their loss. I don't know the young man personally, of course, but I have heard positive things about him in terms of, oh, he was a really nice kid. He was a nice young man. I think he's 30. How old was he? 32. He's in his 30s. So, there are questions about what happened to him. I don't know. I wasn't there. So obviously, I don't know how he fell. Allegedly, he fell off of a balcony. He was in the mountains there in St. Elizabeth. And supposedly he fell off of some balcony in a multi-story, two-story house. And well, there's lots of question marks about how that would have happened. Of course, it's all over social media. Yes, I have seen the photos. I've seen the videos. I'm obviously not going to be sharing them with you guys on this program out of respect for the family, but they have been circulating quite heavily. And so there's also a lot of rumors that are likewise circulating. And what I will say is, let's hold it down on the rumor mill, because it does not appear that a lot of those rumors are holding any water in terms of how he was killed. So, this is going to be a difficult time. I know some family members, I think, are now headed to Jamaica. And what I can say is, it seems like it's pretty widely known that he was involved in certain activities, AKA the marijuana business. Okay. And as simple as you guys may think that is, and I know a lot of Caymanians are like, oh, we don't care. Getting involved in the marijuana business is good money. That's just, Mother Nature. That is the weed that Mother Nature provided, and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. Some of you really underestimate what people are willing to do for drugs. They're willing to kill you for it, even a little bit of weed, a little bit of marijuana. It is known that house in that area is a marijuana farm, and he had people working for him. And, it looks like it was a business. Might not have been a legit business, but nonetheless, it seems like they were running it as a business. So that alone calls into question why he may have been targeted, right? Will they ever know if he was pushed off of that balcony, if he fell off of that balcony? Probably not. I'm sure they'll do an autopsy. The police will do an investigation, but I wouldn't hold my breath for an investigation in Jamaica, up in the hills in St. Elizabeth, to really bear much fruit for a non-Jamaican especially. You just don't hang out with certain people in Jamaica. I mean, you just take your chances. I mean, as nice of a guy as he was, those people there don't really care about that. They don't care how nice you are. So I don't know. It's just a really, really sad situation. I don't feel like they will ever get closure on this, and they'll ever get the answers. Will they do an autopsy and they can say, well, we know he didn't have a heart attack. We know this, whatever. He just fell. Well, how did he fall? It looks like a little bit of a setup. I'm not going to lie here. This is like the perfect setup to kill someone. Just push them off a balcony and be like, oops, they fell. Nobody else going to tell you any different. There's no cameras. There's no independent, source that can be like, nope. And then people, they're criminals themselves. So they're not going to be like, oh man, I just had a come into Jesus moment where I'm going to tell you who actually pushed him off the balcony. Young man, rest in peace. And like I said, it's making the news all over Jamaica. And it's just a cautionary tale, really, that 35-year-old Cayman national, this one says, named Michael McLaughlin, was found dead in the yard at Kilmarnock in Westmoreland this morning, about 7:30. So this was yesterday. Who was Michael and what was he doing in the area? More details in tomorrow's video on Popeye News Links on YouTube. I don't know who the hell Popeye's News Link is, but let's see if we can look him up real quick. What is it? Popeye News Links. Look at how they spell news links. So Popeye news links today. Okay, let's see. I don't see anything posted yet today. So these are one of those Jamaican content creators who, they get the news on the street. Like, what's the street talking about? What's the street saying? So we'll keep an eye on it. They always have a little sauce on criminal elements and what they're up to. So we'll keep an eye on it. That's all I can tell you. And we'll see what they say, what observations they come to. I don't think the local authorities here have yet made any statement about it. They haven't said anything. The most that they would probably do is simply confirm whether someone has, they do have one from an hour ago. Let me just do a quick, hold on. Let me do a quick thing. I'm going to do a quick transcript and thing and see if they actually talk about it. 1 second. Hold on. But yeah, I mean, there's not much that we can say. We're not investigators in this. So we can just express our condolences to the family. We're very, very sorry for your loss. So yeah, it's kind of sad. Really, really sad. Ms. Brenda says, was he living, visiting, or going to school in Jamaica? He was there as a visitor. So Damien says, so he died and was not killed. Well, like I said, the official investigation has to be carried out, but there are rumors afoot that people already believe that this is not from natural causes. Brenda says marijuana is not a drug, it's an herb. Well, that's your opinion. I don't know that is. In fact, just yesterday, quite ironically enough, there's a bit of research that has now come out, and all of the major news sources in the US and now across the world will be carrying this. I'm sure that you guys saw us post it, and I didn't even read your comments because I know how you guys feel about marijuana. Everybody wants to smoke marijuana or injecting it or however you take it. And the truth of the matter is the research does not support the popular position on marijuana. I mean, I'm not arguing with research, as you guys know. I'm simply not in the business of doing that. But there's a whole thing now where doctors have cited terrifying studies about the dangers of marijuana, aka pot. And so I would say go and maybe read some of those, but it's now trending in terms of what they're saying about it. And everything from mental health issues to just your overall health. And everybody's carrying it. Fox News, ABC, all the news outlets based on the research that has come out, that in fact, cannabinoid users have a 75% higher odds of side effects. And we're talking about serious mental health disorders. And this is a major study that has now come out. And they say that there's just a large body of evidence. Researchers at the University of Sydney, Australia, have reviewed 54 randomized controlled trials dating back from 1980 to 2025, where cannabinoids, which is the active substance found in cannabis, was used as the primary treatment. And what they found is, there's this link to brain benefits and all this kind of stuff is actually not true. Researchers noted that depression, anxiety, and PTSD are some of the leading reasons that cannabis products are prescribed in the US, the UK, and Australia. And that, in fact, the opposite of that is actually what is happening. So it's just a hot mess. Like, I mean, you need to go read the studies and stuff for yourself and obviously come to your own conclusions about it. But yeah, it's pretty wild. It's causing people to have real mental health issues. And in fact, we even have politicians now postponing the debate to legalize cannabis. This was ITV News in the UK because of this research that is really making them go, oh, wow. If we're going to legalize this, are we then contributing to the mental health issues of our people? Wonk, wonk, wonk. It's crazy. But go read it for yourself. And you can choose to ignore research. That's entirely a matter for you. I don't tend to ignore research, but that is your choice. And then that becomes your opinion. Okay. All right. In any event, young Michael, so sorry. I understand he had twin children. And so now Caymanian children will be growing up without a father. So just a really sad situation. All right. Westmoreland isn't St. Elizabeth. It's two different parishes. Okay. Let me see if forgot to hit the transcribe button. Hold on one second. Okay. Rest in peace. Apparently his street name, I guess, or his nickname is it Mazi? So unfortunate. Condolences to his family, says JJ. Renita says, if you happen to watch the video, the placement of his body does not align with the fall. Something is sketchy about the story being told. And does Jamaica not have crime scene analysis? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they eventually showed up. But listen, you see I'm just throwing a body in the back of a truck when somebody's killed. They'd be like, oh yeah, take him down to the morgue. So I don't know how great crime scene analysis is, because normally by the time you get there, bodies have been moved, things have been done, So I don't know, Renita, that you can expect any legit investigation here, but not all countries are respected in that regard. Andrew says, my condolences to the family. Anything with money puts your life at risk in Jamaica. You would be surprised. My elder brother was hogtied, brutally stabbed, beaten, and died 2 weeks after. They could not do anything to save him. Lord Jesus. What, over money? There's actually a girl that I follow on YouTube. Her mom, it's a very interesting story, but her mom went to Jamaica 30-something years ago, found a Jamaican man, had children with him, thought she was in love and the whole 9 yards. And she said she borrowed money to purchase all of this land. It's like acres of land, right? But she actually had to flee Jamaica and leave it behind, because one day she was there and the uncle took out a machete and basically threatened her life. And she ended up leaving Jamaica. And now her daughter, all these years later, is like, we want to do something with this farm, and we want to, bring back my mother's dream. And she's talking about this on social media. And they went there and they looked at the farm, and they're doing this whole thing about it. And it's interesting, but in the comment section, you see people saying, you may want to be careful. Going to Jamaica now, trying to reclaim this farmland, as your own. I mean, they legally still own it, obviously, but they were like, just be careful. You're up in the middle of nowhere, up in the hills. Of course, Americans, sometimes they're so flighty and lightheaded. Oh, it's so beautiful. And I'm half Jamaican. You half Jamaican. Yeah, because your dad is Jamaican. But you never been to Jamaica. You not know yardie. You don't know how them people flex, right? And trust me, you think a Caymanian would kill you for a piece of land? A Jamaican would kill you for a piece of air, much less a land. I'm just saying, don't be stupid. So I'm sitting here watching her. Her name is, if you want to go and watch it, it's very interesting. Natalie Odell is her name. And she did a sit-down interview with her mom, where her mom is kind of telling the story of 30-something years ago, why she ran from Jamaica and what happened and whatever. And it was low-key, like, kind of interesting and wild. In the first video she did with, this is my mom's dream and this is why she left. And it kind of went viral. So now they want to take people along on social media on the journey. And by the way, she's really a beautiful young lady. She's got the best of both worlds, like the beautiful eyes, the beautiful brown complexion from the father's side of the family, nice curly hair. Guys, forget about it. Sorry, she's a lesbian, so sorry for you. She's not gonna be into you guys. but she's really a nice looking young lady. And so I think there's 2 or 3 siblings in total. So she wants to do this whole thing with her mom and, kind of renovating the property. And now she's doing a video like learning how to cook in Jamaica. Yeah, then people will show you how to cook. And there's some really nice Jamaicans there and yada, yada, yada. But I'm telling you, you only need to buck up on the wrong person who is going to be like, look, yeah. So now she's talking about how she's going to move to Jamaica and take back the farm. I was like, girl, you better be careful. You would not be the first, and you're definitely not going to be the last. Pretty, half mixed, half Jamaican, who goes there with all kind of big dreams. Remember the one who went missing from New York? They never found out who killed her, right? So many stories of young girls going missing and the whole 9 yards. And they had big dreams. And, oh, well, I'm half Jamaican. Nobody's going to mess with me. Child, please.
The amount of love that you guys have been pouring into my mom and I after I shared her life story, the amount of courage it took for her to pursue a life in a foreign country, buy 40 acres of land in Jamaica when she was my age. I mean, honestly, I'm overwhelmed in the best way possible.
Bless.
I didn't know or expect that her story was going to resonate with you guys the way that it resonates with me, the way that it touches me. And I'm blown away. She's blown away. We've spent the last week, honestly, reading all of your DMs, your comments, laughing and crying, and more than anything, just feeling so hopeful because it's showing us that her dream didn't have to die 30 years ago after heartbreak and betrayal and all of that. It still can be very much alive today, and we don't feel so alone anymore. We feel like we have all of you guys, our internet family, just rooting and praying for us and giving us advice. So I just want to thank you guys from the absolute bottom of my heart for my mom and I. And I just cannot wait to continue this journey and to share it with all of you guys. And yes, thank you guys so much.
Girl, just be careful. I mean, your internet friends can't be with you 24/7 on this 40 acre of land in Jamaica. I mean, good luck trying to develop it and trying to, make something out of it. It's not going to be easy. So I do wish you the best of luck with it. But I also know that you need to be very, very careful, right? This is no joke. You have got to be careful. Girl, do I need to refresh my stream? Hold on one second. I think I might have frozen something. Hold on, honey chill. Uh-oh. All right. I don't My apologies, folks. Everything just froze up for a second there. Yeah, so I mean, she's so optimistic. I love it when people are optimistic, but I think that you have to be realistic. And here she
Trying to hike up to the property in sandals and stuck
Girl,
in
please.
mud. Oh my
That goes to
God,
show
look how
you how
deep the
you-
mud is.
You're not gonna
everyday life. How many years has it been since we saw the property, Mom? Like 6 years? We're gonna change that today. They're building a 4-lane highway in here that's gonna go up through this area. Oh my God, where our property is.
girl. Anybody who's unrealistic enough to wear those shoes to try to get to the property, you live in a dream world that's amazing to live in, I'm sure.
Through this area. Oh my God, where our property is.
No, girl. You have to get your foot cut up.
Jesus Christ.
Then she takes off the shoes and walk barefoot.
We're not
Lord
even halfway
Jesus.
there. We gotta get used to this type of
Wow.
If we're gonna live part-time in Jamaica, this is real Jamaican clay. You could build pottery and crock pot pots
Oh,
and
bless her little
houses.
heart.
We're gonna have a clay house.
They're gonna have a clay house.
Oh, we did not bring any water.
Okay, hold on.
Don't have shoes, but honestly, I'm so happy.
I don't know why her videos didn't.
How is it? Yeah. First, he lives off the land.
What on earth is going on with the video? That's weird. Hold on, let me try it again. But anyway, they have a dream, and I guess everything starts with a dream, right? I like to see people
Trying to hike up to
who want to dream.
He's a
Oh, there's an issue with it.
aloe vera for my mosquito bites.
Yeah. Anyway, bless their little hearts. I think that she just needs to be very, very careful. You know, I mean, imagine the irony that she ran from Jamaica over 30 something years ago. And, you know, back then somebody was trying to kill her and she thinks life has gotten any better. I'm like, girl. Anyway, it went viral. I think it's got like over 3 million views, like on one platform alone. You know, I think it is wonderful that her daughter is trying to fulfill her mom's dream. But, you know, I think she just needs to be careful. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm trying to put no good mouth in her because she's such a beautiful young lady. And I think that she has a good heart. And all of that has never stopped someone from harming you. Being a good person, being beautiful, having a good heart does not mean that people are going to, oh, she's such a nice person. Let's not kill her. Let's not sexually assault her. Oh, yeah. Okay. It just doesn't happen. And she's
When people go to Jamaica, they only show the touristy parts. Now, I know I might look like a tourist, but my Jamaican roots run deep. My connection with Jamaica doesn't start, though, with my Jamaican father. Ironically, it starts with my mother, a white woman who felt a pull towards this island long before it was on everyone's bucket list. She didn't grow up with much, and she definitely did not grow up in a world that taught her to chase islands and culture, but she did it anyway. That's when she met my Jamaican daddy, started a family, that's where I come in, and spent her life savings on 40 acres in Jamaica. My mom sent everything she owned to this island, started building a home and a farm, and then heartbreak and betrayal shattered her dreams. The people she trusted the most stole from her, and she lost everything. Instead of living the dream she was building, she had to raise 3 kids by herself in the States. But here's the part that keeps me up at night. I am now the exact age she was when she was pregnant with me and bought this land, standing on the same soil, hiking up the same hills she once looked at with so much hope in her eyes, and I refuse to let her dream die here. She secured this piece of land for us decades ago, and it's time we live our legacy. This isn't just about me rediscovering my roots. It's about finishing what she started. It's about resilience. It's about love that didn't work out, but dreams that still can. Honestly, I don't know how to build a house. I don't know how to run a 40-acre farm in the middle of a jungle. There isn't even a road to our land. And the biggest challenge, I don't have enough money to make her dreams a reality. All I know is my mom was brave enough to start, and I'm stubborn enough to try. So if you've got advice, prayers, or just curiosity, come with me on this journey to build an entirely new life in Jamaica.
What a mess.
Everybody get on the surrender, you know, something I don't know, tell you, I stay focused and conscious. I don't have never conscious when you come up and see me. If you never conscious, if everybody around there, you come up and see me.
You hear what he
When
said?
we go through some people around
Sometimes he said, well, up because
She don't even understand what a man's saying.
So he's saying that sometimes he just want to give up. And he said, you don't want to do nothing again. But he said, I can't do that because one day Rhonda's going to come back.
Oh,
and I want to be
stop,
able
I'll
to
cry.
show her. He said, because Rhonda never give up.
No.
And she stands firm.
No. How
right?
she got through?
All that I went
How
through.
she got through? And when I kid them time there. When
he was a kid at that time.
Yeah.
Well, bless their little heart. They got a dream. She can't even understand what the man's saying. I don't know how she can be living there. Damien says she's naive and stubborn. Oh, what a mess. Anyway, more power to him. You know, thank you so much, Lisa, expressing condolences to Michael McLaughlin's family. Good looks and good hearts doesn't stop evil, says Jim. You better believe that. Andrew says Jamaica is one of the most beautiful places on earth, beautiful people, mixed Chinese, Indian, white and black, food, culture. We have a farm there. However, there's an element called greed, envy, that would overshadow everything good. This is the cold, hard truth of reality. My mom was beaten severely, oh my God, by a past employee and managed to escape. And then they migrated to the States. Money, wealth, not great if you risk your life. So we'll continue to watch her journey. You know, it is interesting. That's for sure. And we'll see where it goes. Renita says they killed their own kind for less. She better be careful. Yeah, I think her naivete is kind of shocking for those of us who live in the region. We're kind of like, okay. And you know, the sad thing is I think a lot of Jamaicans, they just get used to the violence. Like they're desensitized to it. So I remember when I met Marlon, you know, I was like, oh, you know, obviously he's Jamaican. You know, what has life been? The only thing that Marlon would tell me, because he's a very, very nice person, right? But I think once you've lived in Jamaica, again, you can be nice, but you've got to be aware of your surroundings and stuff. So sometimes I'm like, are you as aware as you need to be? You know, but people always look out for him and his family because there's such good people, like especially in their community, right? Once they find out who you are, they're like, oh yes, you were so-and-so's son. You know, she's like a magistrate in the community. She's this, she's that. So in their own little community, people are definitely looking out for them. But it only takes one person to not know who you are in the community. They come from somewhere else and they, you know. So the most I'd ever heard him said is that someone had pickpocketed him one time and stole his wallet in Jamaica. And that's why he never walks around with a wallet in his back pocket. But you know that you sense the difference. Like, you know, in Cayman, right? There's probably nowhere that I couldn't go, like a public event and whatever. Like I have my phone on my little string, like around my neck, or I put it in my back pocket. I remember the first time, thank you, Miss Brenda, she's watching the time. The first time I went there with him and his family, it was a 9-night for his grandmother. And so his brother, this is like at their house, right? And I'm thinking, oh, you're safe at the house, aren't you? And his brother, one of his brothers walked up to me and said, take your phone out of your back pocket. At the 9-night at your house? And I'm like, you mean someone here might just grab my phone and steal it? I mean, I expect you to tell me that if I'm out on the street. But he's like, take your phone out of your back pocket. I was like, okay. I'm following instructions, honey child. I'm not there pretending like I know what's going on. I'm like, okay, if that's what you say I must do, that's what I'm going to do. You know, they have to, you know, they're not rich people, but people just, yeah. You know, there was a whole situation down by the riverbed. Oh my God, that was like low-key crazy, where his brother, after we had gone down by the baths and had these guys splash in the mud and us and all kind of stuff, they started to fight over who should get paid. And it was almost like a little shakedown. And then next thing I know, his brother was like, do I need to go to my car? Because I mean, he can take out his pistol. And I was like, hell no. My daughter is 2 years old. Y'all get me the blickety blick out of here. It's 9:30. I was like, get me the fuck out of here. I'm not playing with you people. It's not worth it to me. No. These people fighting at the river, but who can get money for taking us down to the river? I was like, shit. And then not long after that in the news, I saw that they were running this scam where they were like shaking people down for money when they went to the beach and stuff like that. It's different. It's a different country. It is a beautiful country, but it's also a very different country where your life does not mean much to people. So Marlon has never told me like a whole lot. And then one day, you know, you've been married to somebody now for over 10 years, things come out. And so he did tell me about his granduncle who was murdered in Jamaica. So everyone in Jamaica has at some point a story about somebody who was killed. And they were seniors, him and his wife. And this was a situation where it was a dispute between the neighbors, just being upset because they are trying to just live on their own land. And so one night, the neighbor, I mean, it was something that was going on for a while. The little old man was just like, I'm going to just put up my little fence, he didn't want that. And it was just crazy that the neighbor just went and stabbed up the poor man. And the poor wife is like yelling and screaming, calling for 911. After that, she actually left Jamaica and never went back. And I don't think that uncle, I don't think they had any kids, but you always hear these horror stories. Like there's a girl who was she is in law school. She's now a lawyer. Actually, this is many years later. So when I was doing the PPC, we had to go to, I think we were actually in Tampa for this trip, and we were doing like debates for the different law schools. So Norman Manley Law School sent some students, and she's a white Jamaican. She's was there at Norman Manley, and she's very bougie. She one of them that live up in the hills, very bougie, right? So when I was the only one driving, because them Jamaicans are like, we don't drive in America. So they all wanted to hang out with me so they can get a little ride to the mall. So I'm like, yeah, I might go to the mall, but really I'm going to like the TJ Maxx, the retail where I can get some good deals. And she's like, no, I need to go to the mall and go to Ann Taylor. I said, oh, you got like Ann Taylor money, not even the discount Ann Taylor. Like she want to go to the Macy's. I'm like, oh, you got that kind of money, girl? As a law school student. So she came from a bougie family in Jamaica. And apparently I think it was her mother was actually murdered right up in their little bougie neighborhood. Some story where these people went in and murdered her mom and somebody else in the family. Like it was just crazy shit. And you're just like, but I thought up in the hills was supposed to be so safe. How y'all going up in the rich people neighborhood and killing them too? Like it's just a different kind of vibe. And I guess they kind of just, life goes on. Like, what can you do? So, honey child, once in a while, Marlon be testing the waters. Like the last time we were there, him loved to drive up in pure bush and up in the hills. And, we went to Strawberry, whatever the hell that is, Strawberry or whatever. And we had lunch there and whatever. And he's like, oh, could you see yourself living up here in the hills? I said, no. No, I can't see myself living in no damn hills. Because that means that I have to drive back down this same path to get into Kingston. This path where around every corner y'all be tooting because you're about to run me off the cliff. I'm like, this is not a drive that I actually enjoy. In Cayman, when I get in the car as a passenger, be like, okay, as bad as Cayman roads are, and they're bad, I'm like, oh, I can take a little nap. Child, in Jamaica, I'd be on the edge of my seat. Like, are we going to go over the cliff this time? And, the big trucks come around the corner, get out of the way, toot, toot, get out of the way. And I'm like, what the hell? That to me is not a relaxing. Yes, Strawberry Hills, girl, that is not relaxing to me to have to think about at least once a week, even if you lived up there. Say you had the money to live up there, whatever. At least once or twice a week, you got to go to Kingston, right? Yeah, go do your proper shopping. But no, honey chat, no. Not that enticing to me. I'm like, no. I'm not feeling that drive alone. So sorry for him. I don't know what the retirement plan could really be, but guess what? I'm trying to establish myself in Cayman by every little thing that I can in terms of like land and property, so that when I retire, that's going to be my plan. I gotta have my own little Cayman farm that I can be out there growing my mangoes and sitting down eating them till I got peanut belly. Speaking of peanut belly, yesterday I went and got it's not, I had some on Friday at Red Sky. Oh, I'm gonna put out some Red Sky videos later on. I've been working on some of them. But I went to what's the place called? Oh, we went to East End yesterday. Big shout out to Minister Isaac Rankin. The Captain Dixon Park, and I'm going to put up the story later on, is getting a complete makeover there in East End. It's going to be beautiful. They've got some beautiful plans for it. Give them about 9 or 10 months. And it's gorgeous. And so we went up there, and then we passed a little fruit stand there close to the north side, Frankstown Junction. And I stopped, and she had some mangoes. They were kind of a little bit too green, but we found one bag that wasn't too bad. And so, they put her little sauce on it, and I was eating that. And I could tell that it wasn't really agreeing with my stomach. It was probably still a bit too green. But you know me and my mangoes, child. I'd be like, yes, I'm going to pay for it later, but just keep eating it. It was so good. So I can't wait until we get a couple more months. Hopefully I'll be able to get some off of my own tree. And I am excited about it. How many of you Caymanians, you know what I'm talking about? When you were kids, right? You would sit down and eat so many green and turned mangoes until they'd start to like grit your teeth, and your belly would be hurting, and your mom would be like, stop eating all that foolishness. And you just couldn't help yourself. That's me when it comes to mango season. Sylvester Campbell says violence in Jamaica is very contagious. It's catching. Who's this calling me? Hello, good morning. Not too bad. I'm still on the radio though. Still on air. This is Sandra. You called the wrong number?
Did I call the wrong number?
No, not you. Sorry. Oh, gosh. No problem.
Miss Sandra, good morning.
Hold on one second. Oh! And somehow it called me. Oh, gosh. No problem, my love. I'm good. Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, bye-bye. No, wrong number. Sorry, honey. Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hi, morning. All the best.
Thank you, my dear.
Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
Sounds like we need to introduce Larry to the FTC.
What is the FTC?
When he parks in those blue spots, he needs to be introduced to the FTC, the Flat Tire Commission. Right?
Well,
and that's what we need to do here.
Yeah, he's so rude and faced it with the blue spot violations. It's like a constant thing.
Don't worry, he can handle changing 2 flat tires when he come out where he come from. Right? They're bulletproof, but they're not flat proof, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that way we need to start extending him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Thank you, my darling.
Have a good one.
You too. All right, Miss Brenda says you can. That's when you drive through Junction. Now you have other highways. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. They love Junction because that's shorter. Andrew says you'd be cussing more bumbleclot. Get out my way. Get out my way. Jamaica frequently ranks among the top countries in the world for homicide rates, often placing within the top 5 to 10 globally. Poor Jamaica. My tweetums. As of 2024 data, Jamaica recorded a homicide rate of approximately 40.1 per 100,000 people, ranking it as one of the highest in the Caribbean. Probably only outdone by countries like Nicaragua and Honduras because they're next level wild because of the drugs and stuff like that. But yeah. Ms. Brenda says Jamaica still boasts the highest number of tourists in the Caribbean every year. That's true. And then occasionally 1 or 2 might go missing, but that's the price you pay for having a good tourist excursion. Jim says, I've been to Jamaica several times, loved it. However, my friend from there was extremely protective over me. She refused to take me to the market in Kingston. I know I missed a lot, but she knew where, what, when, and how to keep me safe. Oh, yeah. Listen, the market, you do have to travel with Jamaicans, because if they sense that you're a foreigner, Jim, in particular areas, like in the local areas, you are easy prey. Like they can take advantage of you. So of course I have been to Coronation Market, I think once or twice, because my mother-in-law goes there to buy her, they actually have a little shop in their city, in their little parish where they live. And so sometimes she goes to the big market in town to get supplies and whatever for the shop. And my dear, even in the parking lot, somebody hustling you that I can get you parking. Ma'am, mommy, me can get you parking. She's like, all right, ease up yourself, right? She knows how to handle them, right? She's 70 odd years old now, so she's lived there her entire life. But yeah, it's a different kind of flex. I do not eat no Bombay, no number 11, no number 69, no number 50. You just give me my Cayman local round mango, the little round long one. Because there's some that are like round, not them. The kind of round, long one. That is all I want. AJ says that there's been a decline in the homicide rate. Yeah, I think things have kind of been improving. Now it's down to 27.7 per 100,000 inhabitants. I was in the middle of a double murder one time when I was there and told my husband, listen, I have a rule. When I'm in Jamaica, I don't want to be on the roads at night. Like, that's just not my vibe there, right? Because a lot of shit goes down. As Aunt Lottie used to say, nothing good happens after midnight. Well, in Jamaica, nothing good happening after sunset. You get your behind off the road. And so, unfortunately, one trip, Marlon is very adventurous, child. He be trying to take me to all the scenes and the this and that. And he does love his country. He's not a Jamaican that has to live, like, be there all the time. You know, some Jamaicans every weekend, I'm flying off to Jamaica. He's not that person. But you can tell that he loves Jamaica. He loves his Jamaican food. He loves his Jamaican people. He loves his Jamaican culture. But he's not like in your face with it kind of person, you know? But he still loves it. So every trip he wants to show me a different part of Jamaica. So I think he just wants me to fall in love with the place. He's like, I'm going to take you to this place. And Jamaica's a big country. You could be going there for months and not even, you know? So he wanted to take me down to, and because he used to work in hospitality, he worked for all these sandals people. Like, he's got a lot of connections, and he's one of those people, like, everywhere that he has worked, those people love him to death. So if he goes back to, because he used to travel to all the different properties right across the island. So if he goes into any sandals property and some staff are still there and they stay in their jobs, they're not like Caymanians where you can't find none in tourism or whatever. They stay in their jobs and they'd be like, oh, Mr. Marlon is here. Indian is here. Go and tell boss man this one and that one. Indian come. Oh, him got wife and baby now. Like, you go into the bank, credit union, he big up in credit union, and people like, Marlon is here. Oh my gosh, come into my office, sit down. So nice to meet you. He give us pure trouble when he was here in Jamaica. But they just love him. Like, he was a good worker. He's a good person, always going out of his way to help people. So, we were going to, oh God, where is that movie? The Blue Lagoon movie, that area. Where is that St. Cat? I can't remember. Y'all gonna have to help me out. I don't know. But wherever that movie was actually filmed, we were gonna go stay at like that resort. It's a beautiful property. The water is beautiful. The property is beautiful. It was a hike up to the room because you got to take all these steps to get there, but it was really, really nice. So his friend was actually a manager at that property. So he's like, you come in Jamaica, come a couple of days, stay with us, whatever. But because we had gone to the river early in the day and they taken their time at the river, me, I'm clocking it like, look here now. I want to be on no road. How long you say it take to get to this place? Because he'd be like, oh, it's not that long. 4 hours later, we still driving. I'm like, what is your definition of not long? So I don't want to be on the streets late at night. And I can tell you, this is a perfect example of why I never wanted to be on the streets. So anyway, we left the river kind of late, and then his brother was heading back to Kingston, and we were going the other direction to this Blue Lagoon area, right? All right. So we had the little incident at the river that already had me feeling a little bit uneasy. I'm like, And then there are things that I pay attention to that I think are oblivious to men. Like, his niece was there, and these guys were kind of like starting to, oh, hey, brown girl, here, Indian. And I was like, no. Don't be looking at people picnic. So, I'm keeping an eye on her. I keeping an eye on Gigi, who's with her dad. I'm keeping an eye on myself because they're not going to be feeling me up. So I'm all over the situation like detective, what's his name? What's the big time detective guy from the UK? Sherlock Holmes. So I'm like, keeping an eye on everybody. So we finally leave, and it's starting to, night is falling. And I told the man, I want to be on no streets at night, driving in no bush and no country in areas that I don't know nothing about. So we drive in, especially with a 2-year-old. You know what I'm saying? As a mother, just not feeling that kind of vibe. So we're driving and driving and driving. I'm just like, when are we reaching? Like, I'm ready to be there already. We still wouldn't reach 4 hours later. I'm like, really? So it was kind of ironic because there was a bus in front of us, right? And these are just single streets. This is almost like driving in Bodden town where the homes are literally right there. And then you go through some more rural areas where like the bush is there. So, you know, the homes are a little bit further back, but the road isn't very big. Like the road is like really, really narrow. Okay. So I'm like, all right, let's just get there and whatever. So there was a bus in front of us. So sometimes we would pass the bus because they'd stop and let people off, and then they would pass us. So there's like a line of traffic going up, right? So this is probably 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night at this point. And so we just drive and drive and drive. And the bus passes us, we pass the bus. And at one point, everybody comes to complete halt. Nobody not pass. I'm like, what's going on? Car's not moving. All of a sudden, we see the army guys come up with the big, what do they carry? AR-17, AK-40. I don't even know what the hell they carry. Big weapons, big guns. And then they're like, they say they go up to the cars, they went up to the bus. And then at this point, we were actually behind the bus, and they came up to us and they said, there's been a double homicide right here and I was like, what? A double homicide, like literally in the street? And they're like, yes. And we think the gunmen are still in the area. I said, Lord God, here, you know, same reason me not want to be at night on the road in Jamaica. What me done tell you? You see what me tell? I looking at Marlon, I give him a side eye, like, you see what I was telling you? Why you don't listen to me? And he's like, you know, we have to wait now because, you know, we got to make sure the gunmen not still in the area. And I'm like, Lord Jesus. So anyway, and plus they were trying to actually process the scene of crimes as well. So, you know, we see the guys in the full hazmat suit. They're there covering up the body. And I'm like, I don't want to see this. I've not seen nothing like that in my life, and I don't want to see it now. I'm getting too old for this kind of thing. You know, and I don't want my daughter seeing that like that. Thank God she was sleeping, so she has no memories of it. But that's the kind of thing that I'm just like, no, I'm not into that kind of vibe, none at all. Heaven Bliss says, Jamaica don't sleep parties 24/7. Me not into no party. Me stay home, and 1 o'clock at night, I want to be in my bed, sleeping safely somewhere. Oh my God. Jim says they do drive like a bat out of hell in Jamaica, like they're on a speedway in a race, which explains some of the drivers here in Cayman. Well, it also explains that, you know, when they have an accident there, they wiping out a couple people. Well, yeah, the accident can kill 4, 5, 6 people easily. And it's like, damn, how did that happen? Some of these social media sites carry like a lot of the videos. I don't know if you guys subscribe to them, but there's a Caymanian who lives overseas. She's always sending them to me. And oh God. Yes. We getting some evidence on Lydia and them. Lord God, thank you so much. Oh, honey child. Thank you for sending. Thank you. I'm gonna be sending this to the authorities because look like they need help. This person says you're talking about Natalie Odell. I follow them as well. Yeah, she had that translation all mixed up. So is Natalie planning on moving to Jamaica now? Because that's kind of weird. Because I hear her saying that, but I'm like, is she really moving there? Is she still engaged to that girl that she was with? I thought she had a fiance. I don't know. This person says Jamaicans are jealous of their own succeeding, much less a foreigner. Remember the young lady, Karen Cleary Brown, whose gardener handyman buried her in the garden, and many more cases. You know, a couple years ago, I will tell you that there was there's like a foreign, I forget what their title is, but like, what's it called? You know, the Jamaican diaspora has like representatives. So when they go back home and, you know, the dream, I think, for most Jamaicans is to go foreign, work, build your life, but always to return back to yard, right? You build your big mansion up in the bush, because sometimes they be building these homes that they're building for like 20, 30 years. And it literally takes them, not a word of lie, because I've seen some of Marlon's family, but 20, 30 years to build it because they're not going to no bank. They're just doing everything out of pocket. Whilst I admire the tenacity, it makes for very interesting structures. So it's like, if you still add on to a property 10, 15, 20 years later, it's going to look different. You're not going to have the same tile. Like it's just different. And it's something unusual that maybe a lot of Caymanians are not necessarily used to doing. But they don't go to the bank. They're just building out of pocket. And they like to build large. It's not even necessarily like the best quality, you know, like they're going to just put primer on it, not paint it and stuff. Like it's just weird, but it's like big, like a 10 bedroom house. They just keep building on. And so that part, I think, is part of the Jamaican dream, to just have a big house, right? That's your retirement plan. Have a big house. And so the head of the Jamaican diaspora, whatever, in Jamaica, you can see these stories because we wrote about it back in like 2019, maybe 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. And they were basically warning Jamaicans that those who were coming back home, Abby says Don Marlon will not be impressed with the patois. Ask Johan to help you brush up. Johan can't help me. But they were warning them that when they were coming back home, that they were being targeted, right? Because there was a streak where a bunch of like Jamaicans going back home were actually killed. And most times it's family members or people in the community who think you're coming back. Now that you come back from a foreign and you got money and this and that, they're just robbing you out of greed. They think you got something in your big house that you just built, in your big mansion. And I think to myself, the irony of it is Jamaicans are setting themselves up. Because when people see you building this big house, they assume you got money, whether you got money or not, right? Uh-huh. So even trying to build the house, they be stealing from you. You sending money to get stuff done, get the roof fixed, get that. Like you will not meet a single Jamaican who will not tell you a story of, oh yeah, when I was trying to do construction, this one scammed me, that one scammed me. My mother-in-law guy scammed her out of a roof. You know, all kinds of, and he was a church brethren. So it's always some kind of scammation and thing going on. Always something. But that's just life. It's just like, you know, you just keep going on. So, yeah, they were warning them to be very, very careful. Even at one point, telling some of them, don't come back home. Don't come back home and build this big house, because unfortunately, you are inviting trouble into your life. Yeah, it is very sad because, you know, I suppose that's the American dream. That's a dream of every country. That's a dream of Jamaicans. That's a dream of Caymanians, right? Even if you have to go abroad, you're going to want to go back home to your land, to where your navel string is buried. And you take a chance when you go there and you try to live too large. You drive a nice car, you become targeted. So you better have one old jalopy Honda that's about 10 years old, that barely running, and be living like low key, like a poor person. Because if you look too good, you're wearing nice jewelry, they believe you have money, your life, not just people who can rob you, whatever, but your life is actually in danger. And that is wild. Plain and Straight says, I love both Jamaica and Honduras, but I've been sheltered and chaperoned by Jamaicans and Hondurans. When I travel to both of these beautiful countries, people and food are amazing. Oh my God, the food. Last time we were there, we went to this restaurant in Kingston. Some of the best food I have ever had. I need to try and get the name of it. It was like I had partially outdoor under the big trees and everything. Oh, the food was to die for. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Miss Sandy.
Morning, honey child.
Your listening audience. I wanted to get in on a few talks, but I wanted to call after hour.
Mm-hmm.
So then maybe leave the Lara one last, because you might cut me off and I got curse or anything, but I'd be very sorry.
Well, it's after 9:30 now, so you can cuss if you feel like it.
Oh, okay then.
Mm-hmm.
Larry, and Miss Sada, be honest, I said it before.
Mm-hmm.
Larry's situation is going to make Cayman government realize that Caymanians are small, but we are very Talawa.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to remain in our country in peace. And this is something I keep saying and nobody not listening. Caymanians are very passive people, but we're not stupid people. We wait for the right time to strike. And my thing to Larry is, I'm being honest to him. If it was an adult he put his hand on that can defend themselves, I would let it rest. But because that was a child, he couldn't do that in Canada. They would have shot him dead. So because we're not shooting nobody dead in Cayman, him and our law think that we some stupid people. Him and the person that business partner with him and bring him in there think that we're stupid people. Larry, listen to me now. Either you come out willfully or we'll show you how you will come out. And let's pray and hope you're on a clean seat coming out and not in a box. Because enough is enough. And I'm not threatening anybody and I'm not sending any threat. I'm just telling you things and times has changed in the Cayman Islands. And some of us don't need to talk to let you know what's going to happen to you. But feel free to continue living, because when the time comes, it's when you forget what you did to the Caymanian people. That's when the time comes, you know. That's when the time comes for Larry. Honestly, Miss Sandy, enough is enough. So I encourage all of our Caymanians to sign this petition and get him out the right way. Because if it's not our child, tomorrow it will be. And it's going to be another Larry that tried our stunt. And it's for time for us as Caymanian, unite. Unity is needed. We don't care if it's jacket that we don't like child. It is a child of a Caymanian. That's all that matters at the end of the day. We have to live there. We already got enough stigma against us as Caymanian than to have Larry come in. I could just imagine how that young man feel every day when somebody see him. That is the young man that Larry draped up and did this and that. So, and then he gets to remain in our country and buck him up in supermarket and bars and all of that. Larry, keep drinking, keep in the streets. But don't go home, Larry. Keep out in the streets because that way we need you out there. Anyhow, off of him to Jamaica. Jamaica good and Jamaica bad. All my life, I love me some Jamaica. I got a little property down there and all of that. But let me tell you how I survive in Jamaica. When I go to Jamaica, I am Jamaican. I in my slippers, I in my pants with 2 and 3 holes in it. I in my little beat up shirt. Yes, ma'am, chain and jewelry and all of that is when I come back to Cayman, I could floss. But when I go to Jamaica, I'm like the Jamaicans. I got dressed like them, act like them, everything. It is true. These big houses that they're building and stuff like that, I understand it's people's dream. I never look down on a person or try to belittle anyone who's trying to live their dream. That's what life for. That's what we're here working to do, to live that dream. But it's not safe. I have seen in Jamaica where they build these big houses, Miss Sandra, and they're very family members, their children who live in it while it's building, take it away from them. And there's nothing the law can do about it. And when they do fight them by law and take it back, the parent, the family member end up dead. There was an incident with a lady, true story, where she was coming to Jamaica because she had this badass son and he kept giving her trouble. She brought him to the States with her. He gave trouble up there. They deported him. She sent him to Jamaica. She built this big ass house and the child is in there. She paid all the bills, everything. She went back to Jamaica to go visit this young man. The very taxi driver that went and picked her up is who confessed to her that her son plot to kill her, wanted the taxi driver to do it.
My God, her own child.
And the gentleman that told the young lady came down with a certain amount, the mother came down with a certain amount of money, right? And the mother gave that taxi driver the money, turned that car around and booked her flight back to the United States. She didn't even stay a day. Because at the end of the day, if the taxi driver didn't do it, he would go and get somebody else to do it. And that was the smartest move that mother ever made. That's why she's able to live today and tell her story. Because should she had just ignored what the taxi driver said and then go back to her son trying to say that the taxi driver telling her, it would have ended up that she and the taxi driver would have died. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Jamaica is a nice place. But like you said, we have to be very cautious with the life in which we intend to live and want to live. And that's just my little 2 cents there. I've been going there all my life. My family, them come from the rural areas, like the baddest areas of Jamaica. I have never been held up by gunpoint. I have never been robbed. I've never experienced herself, anything bad. My children have lived there, school there. My children cannot tell you anything about gunshots or anything, nothing like that, because they go to the discreet areas, the little posh areas to get them away from that. That my little 2 cents on that. And Larry, hurry up and gallop and came on government, wake up. All who got sit down on that board and make the decision for Larry, make it with a sensible mind frame that us Caymanians not gonna make it die. It not going no way. We can't forget the boy is 17 at the time it happened, up until he 30 or 40. We not never forget. But Larry, you not be there that long. That's my 2 cents. Thank you, Miss Sally. Bye.
Appreciate it, my dear. Yes, we have the power, in my humble opinion, to stop Larry's PR application. One person says, good morning, going back to Larry and his application for PR. I know someone that he owes money to. Can we write a letter to WRC regarding that? Yes. Yes. That bitch got a nerves to owe people money. You gotta be kidding me. Going around driving ugly Tesla and he owe people money. What? Listen to me. Drop that letter in today. Oh my God. Let me send you the email address, WRC complaints@gov.ky. Send the proof. Say that bitch don't even pay his bills. That makes him an undesirable person. Yep. Y'all need to start clocking it good. Good morning, Sandra. Can you inquire from the government to arrange a USA consulate to visit Cayman once a year to process USA visa applications to avoid Caymanians having to go to Jamaica? We've been trying that forever, honey child. We have been begging and trying for that. And unfortunately, the Americans don't think that we're that important. They don't business with Cayman. So you either have to go to the Bahamas or Jamaica, and they've been clamping down on the whole visa situation there in Jamaica. But yeah, we've been begging for that for years, and they won't do it. They won't do it. No, sir. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, so sign the petition, share the petition, circulate that. This should be the most widely discussed and signed petition here today. Get his backside off this island. All right, let me just see here now. LMAF said, don't go Honduras then. I've been to Honduras once, and I was partly in the country and then in the city in Saiba. And I see where one of Michelle's friends the other day was talking about, oh, I better not come back to Honduras because what are you going to do for me? Y'all are such disgusting criminal people. Like, seriously? Let me try and understand the logic of this. She runs over a man twice, not once, but twice, right? Takes his phone, leaves him to bleed out, leave him for dead. And because I'm reporting the facts to the people, y'all up in your feelings about me and you're threatening me. That shows the caliber of people that she's friends with. And not for nothing, but the same woman who posted that, she needs to be worried about how it's talked all over the place that all she does is in the drug business. And then the same mother who trying to obia people and talking about she got obia me again. Clearly the first time never worked. She said she got obia me. She's living in the U.S. illegally. ICE could be knocking at her door any minute. And she got time to be worried about me and Cayman. Child, go sit the fuck down. Seriously. Y'all just a bunch of criminals. Sometimes it runs in the family. And who you associate with and who you hang out with says a lot about you. Speaking of who you hang out with, oh God, somebody sent me this video last night. I cannot allow this moment to pass. Irvlyn, you don't have the petition? Girl, I thought you had the petition a long time. I cannot allow this moment to pass. Talking about toxicity and these relationships. Can't go to Bahamas anymore, just Jamaica. Oh, really? But Caymanians just need to get the British passport. Lord have mercy. We can't get a visa by going to Bahamas? Damn. Good morning, caller.
Miss Sonny, it's me again. Hold on. I know my mind slipped me. I would like to ask you, did you see the video with the young Kimanian mother talking about the 20-year-old that raped her 8-year-old daughter?
Yes, people have sent it to me.
Miss Sandy, that need to be addressed.
I need to get a hold of her. So I
Oh
don't
my
know
God,
who she is.
I saw that last night and I was crying. I saw it last night and I was crying. I said, obviously, Miss Sandy, and I get this yet, but I cried. I listened to her. Some people were saying social media is not the platform, but Miss Sandy, we fed up. Police not doing that, immigration not doing that, so social media now make the world help us.
This hitting hard.
Yeah, man.
But
yeah, I felt it for her.
Boy, look here. Some of these men are so disgusting. I'm shocked. I am really, really shocked. Not that it's happening, right? But I'm shocked that a mother has stood up and gone to social media, and I really can't blame her.
No.
So if anybody knows who she is, I have received it multiple times. In fact, we reshared it on TikTok because it was a TikTok video. And I think I will put it up on her Instagram and the other page as well, because it's very, very disturbing. It is.
I would love for that, Miss Sandy. And I just want that mother to know we stand with her. We don't know the story. I don't understand it fully. But anything with a child being molested, it has to be highlighted. This little whatever he is that committed it, we have to get to the point whether he foreigner or one of our own, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We have to get on it. And I know I can leave it in your hands, but I wish she does come forward to you and she come and give us.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk to her. Yeah.
Yeah, we on her side, mommy, wherever you are. Trust me, I saw your video last night and I want you to come out and get it known. I want you to want us to know who this pedophile is within our country so that we can protect ours too, because you're trying your best now to get justice for yours. So we want you to meme and shame this pedophile so no other child don't have to run into him. Thanks, Miss Sandy. That's it.
I appreciate it. Yeah. No, I'm going to post it up because I really want to get in contact with this mother. Wow. It is wild. It is just so wild. Oh my God. I can't even. Oh, things like this give me an instant headache. Like, oh my God. You talk about the likes of Larry, and then we got all these child molesters running around here as well. Oh, Jesus. It's just horrible. An 8-year-old child. I mean, my daughter's 9, and I cannot even imagine, like, seriously, I would have no compunctions killing somebody for touching my daughter. I'm sorry. There is a defense in law of defense of another, Make sure you know. I'm not advocating murder. I'm just saying. Oh my God. I'm really disturbed by it. And I hope the mother's listening this morning. Please reach out because I would like some additional details and exactly what this is all about and what went down, because it's crazy. Miss Sue said we not did no squats. Oh my God, her bonker could be getting so big because we not doing no squats. Yeah, so I'm going to put that up after the show. And I do need to go and edit some videos. Editing takes a while for certain things. I don't over edit because I ain't got that kind of time. And I know y'all don't need no fanciness when it comes to news. By the way, when it comes to the news, right? Let me tell you something. Congratulations to Sabrina Turner. This is her first year, the Tower Marketing Report. This is her first year included in that. So she's only been at this now for 9 months. June to now is like 9 months, right? This is March. Yeah, about 9 months. And she already came in with like a 24-point gain within, and that was just last year. So I think they do it like the early part of the year. So that's not even including January to March of this year. People have been watching her show, talking about her show, the whole 9 yards. So much so that when Tower Marketing started to do their survey, they were like, people are talking about Sabrina's show. I am so proud of her. You guys don't know what it takes to be out here in this space. So she has got, for less than 6 months, basically, by the time they would have done the survey, She has got some solid numbers. Oh, this one, I don't think you can see the numbers. Hold on. Let me pull up one where you can actually see. And these are recent shows too. Yes. Brilliant. You go, girl. Very, very proud of her dedication and hard work. Look at them numbers: 7.9 thousand, 9.4, 8.3, 8.3, 8.5. Y'all are tuned in and watching. So, according to, I've got the report. If you want a copy of this, if you work in marketing, you should have a copy of this report. Reach out to Tower Marketing. I want to sit down and do a little interview with Miss Lynn. But reach out to Tower Marketing because they do a fabulous report. They ask a lot of really, really good questions. So it crowns Sabrina as Breakout of the Year. New show, and she is coming in hard. I predict by next year, write this down in your little books now, honey child. I predict by next year, she's going to be the number 2 spot right under the Cold Hard Truth. It's going to be the whole Cold Hard Truth. Number 1, we still hanging on to the number 1 spot. And she's going to be in the number 2 spot. Because literally she just got started. And then when CMR radio comes, oh my God, it's going to be woo-wee. Good. I can't wait. Congratulations, Sabrina. I'm so incredibly proud of you. She's doing an amazing job. And the numbers are definitely reflecting that. Y'all better get in early because when she goes on radio and she gets large and in charge. Hi. All right. So listen, very, very proud of her. Doing amazing work. You're doing your squats. Good girl. I try to watch Sabrina. You can always go back and watch it. Absolutely. Andrew says kaboom to Sabrina. Anthony says, I went to Nassau a few months ago and I have always been hearing about the Bahamas, but that place looks no better than Eastern Avenue. I was so shocked. That place is so underdeveloped, looks nothing pretty like our capital. Mm-hmm. And they got a lot of crime in the Bahamas too. Still no sex offenders registry. Oh my God. The No Repeat Child Sex Offenders Act hopefully will be passed with a death sentence. I wouldn't hold your breath because we don't have a death sentence here in Cayman. Plain and Straight says there is a U.S. consulate here. It's located in Smith Road Center, but the U.S. cannot have an actual embassy in every country. So we must go to the regional embassy that has been assigned to our country. Maybe they should put the embassy here and make them come here for a visa. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Ms. Brenda says, I was appalled by what I saw when I went there. Talk about a shock. Y'all don't understand what you got here. You know, you're not going to understand it till you lose it. That's why when people complaining about people like, you know, putting clothes on in commercial areas of Georgetown, putting clothes on the fence and running down the properties and, you know, just looking like shit. I'm just like, you know, we have our pockets that look horrible, without a doubt. But this is still a beautiful country. And we got to clean up those pockets. That's why I don't mind when Miss Amelia be telling, but they backside down in Windsor Park. I'm like, girl, yes, clean up Windsor Park. That was once the hub of the middle class. And y'all have just made Windsor Park go to the dogs. Some of those places is not fit for humans to be living in. Clean the shit up. That's one of our OG communities. Anyway, thank you so much to the listener to the program who sent in. Okay. To the listener to the program who sent in this video reminding us of why, you know, they said, God, Sandy, this is what you're always talking about on your show, breaking the cycles of, you know, just dysfunctionality and the things that we know does not serve us well. It is easier to stay where you are when you grew up in a dysfunctional home. I want y'all to listen very carefully to me now, right? That's easy. It is much harder, much more difficult for you to break the cycle. And so we're going to end today's program on a positive note for you guys to understand that no matter where you come from, you can grow up around guns, you can grow up around violence, you can grow up around dysfunctionality, you can even grow up around abuse. And you have an opportunity. So I've got 2 short videos. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm going to start following him because from his own experiences and his messaging, I can see that he's lived through it and he knows what it is that he's actually talking about. So sit back and listen. The first one is about the fact that, his name I think is Roderick Cole, but the first one is about how we come from families, right? That when you try to break the cycle, you become the villain. You're the bad person. You think you're better than them. You think you're this, you're that, whatever. Make them talk. That not got nothing to do with the price of rice in China. Stay on your path of building yourself up, building your children up. If you got a good spouse, ride with them and work together to build a better future for you and your little microcosm of a family. Sometimes you got to leave those other people, all the siblings in the world, all the nieces and nephews that are out here doing shit. If they're not on the right path, just step away. Have a listen to this, folks, and enjoy your weekend. But don't go away because this is some powerful messaging here.
A child who breaks the family cycle typically becomes the villain. The moment you stop participating in your family's dysfunction, you suddenly become the villain for some reason. Now you bougie. Now you think you better than everybody else. Now you change. But what they don't tell you is this. Breaking the cycle will make the people who refuse to break it uncomfortable because your discipline exposes their excuses. Your boundaries will expose their entitlement. I remember one time I was talking to my brother. I was giving him some game, just trying to show him that he could move a little smarter in life. He said, "You still Lil Rod," trying to remind me of who I used to be, trying to pull me back down to the version of me that he was comfortable with. Because when you evolve, some people in your own family feel like you're abandoning the old version of yourself. Then I heard from another sibling that my own mother be calling me bougie because I don't live the way we used to live, because I set boundaries, because I refuse to participate in the chaos and the drama. Here's another thing people don't talk about. Family will always ask you for favors when they feel like you got it. They're going to ask for money. They're going to ask to live at your place. They're going to ask for help. But the moment you tell them no, that's when they're going to tell you how they really feel about you. That's when the name calling start. That's when the disrespect come out. That's when you find out they never respected your boundaries in the first place. See, breaking toxic family cycles is lonely because the people who benefit from the cycle are the same people that's gonna get mad when you stop participating in it. They want to access the old version of you. When you're operating outside of that, you can clearly see the toxicity and all the drama that goes on. If you're the one in your family that's trying to do better, trying to think better, trying to live different, don't be surprised when they call you bougie. Don't be surprised when they say you change. You're supposed to change. And to be real, sometimes the only way to break a generational cycle is to become a villain in the story that they tell about you. Kids don't know my immediate family, and that was on purpose too. My kids don't know my mama. My kids don't know my daddy. My kids don't know my brothers and sisters. And no, it wasn't out of hate, it wasn't out of spite, and it's not because I don't love them. It's because I'm the cycle breaker in my family. See, I grew up around drug use, arguing, backbiting, lies, drama, every single day. Chaos was normal where I came from. And when you grow up in dysfunction, you don't even realize how toxic it is until you start doing the inner work and building a healthier life. But once you change, you start seeing everything clearly. You realize some of the people you love the most are still committed to those same toxic patterns. So I made a decision when I had kids. My children will not grow up in the environment that I had to survive. So yes, my kids may know of them. They may see them once or twice here and there over the years, but I could probably count on one hand how many times my kids actually interacted with my immediate family. And that decision wasn't punishment. It was about protection. I didn't teach my kids to hate them, but I refused to expose my kids to the behavior that I had to heal from as an adult. When you're the one breaking generational curses, You have to protect the family that comes from you. That's the whole point. Even if that means creating distance from the family that you came from. You can still love people, but access to your peace and access to your children, that's something that you have to protect.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.